These are all the movies that are coming out in 2024. And let's face it, we were all nervous about 2024. We had no idea with how the writer strike was going to affect this, because we were already behind the 8 ball, because movies that were supposed to come out in 2020 were just coming out.
Yeah.
So
we were sort of overloaded with movies last year. I think that was the main thesis when we did this last year, was there was so many blockbuster movies coming out last year that it was unbelievable. You had a blockbuster a week for several weeks, the entire summer.
Can I just change gears just for a quick second? I just realized that our background is magical. This is, you didn't pay for cable, but you're going to still try to watch the Playboy channel anyway. Holy shit.
Right.
How cool is that? Good job on that.
You could see the title. You knew what the title was. So let your imagination run wild through the scramble.
You just do the side and you try to flick and just like, can I get this to square off just a little bit?
Yeah.
But
you always had that hope if you had messed with the cable or something
that it would get that.
It would just start working.
But good job on that. Fine. Well done. Dose Incredibles exclusive right here. But back to the geek facts. We just thought we'd go through. It has 5, 10, 15, 20. It has about 30 films that we're going to go through that we're going to talk about that's coming out in 2024. And we're just going to give our honest opinion on each one.
Okay. I also have another list that we can pull up just as a sideshow. But
yeah, because there's no way this has all of them, right? These are just like the big ones. I think
these are like the main IP movies, right?
Yeah. Well,
because no one is hyping up some random movie that no one knows about.
No, you're absolutely right. And I think that's how this came to our attention. Our buddy in the Pacific Northwest, Mike B., Museum of Now, when he's working in the lab, and he's like, look at this. And he only spotted 2 films in here that were not an IP.
And they're both coming up immediately.
And then after that.
In the least, I guess this is January, February is when movies, theaters it's like their deadest period.
Yeah. And this used to be the dumping ground, right? September.
Apparently it still is.
But I think it's going to be a hit. I think it's going to work because the dumping ground last year brought us Megan. And even though it was pretty much like all the cool stuff was in the trailer, there was a few things that were not, but it still felt different, felt special.
Yeah.
So
I think Megan had good things going for it. But, yeah. But now you're going to have to okay, so just the first one on the list here, you're going to have to convince me why you think this is...
The Night Swim?
Yes.
The Night Swim is great. I'm so hyped for this one.
So this is about a haunted swimming pool?
This is a heel swimming pool. And think about how much of a heel a swimming pool really is. Because it entices you to come in here. But how dangerous is this thing? It is made of cement, but it gives you the illusion of safety that you can run around as fast as you can and turn the corner. But make no mistake, if you turn that corner too fast and you hit your head, you're done. It's cracking your skull open. There's just that. And this is an exclusive. I didn't even tell you I was going to talk about this. I had a near-death experience with a swimming pool for a shoot. So
what happened? You almost died?
It was a 4-foot swimming pool, and
how tall were you at the time?
I was over 5 feet, but not quite 6 feet, but I was close to 6 feet at the time. And it had the no diving thing. But you know what? There's 4 boys. We were used to jump off the roof into this pool. And it was just like, I couldn't believe we did some of the stuff looking back. So I dove in, and man, when I hit my head, I tell you, it turtled the shit out of me. My head went into my neck, and I thought I broke my neck. I literally, the longest yard, I think I broke his fucking neck.
Man.
But that wasn't even the NDE. That was one of the times that the pool was a heel.
Yeah.
The second time, this is actually straight out of a horror movie, and it terrifies me to this day. Well, actually, there's 2 more stories why I might think swimming pools are a heel. So we wouldn't cover our pools in Long Island in the winter. So we would just turn it to ice, and things would fall in there. Plus there's 4 boys, and there would be like baseballs and stuff that we would just throw in there. And through the ice, we had this little white poodle, and she must have fell through the ice and hit it and could not get out. And then I looked in there. I was like, which one of you guys threw a stuffed animal in the pool? And then I realized it was my mom's dog, and I was just so distraught. And I ran out there, and I tried to pick her up, and obviously she was already gone. But like I was trying to do some 8-year-old CPR with my mom's dog, and I was like, I hate this pool. I hate this pool. And I'm like screaming. Then again, the next winter, like I was telling you, we always had stuff in the pool. So after that moment, I always felt the need to get everything out of the pool, even if it was iced over. So I would like reach with this like a rake or shovel, and I'd be reaching, and then I'd pull in. And I went to reach as far as I can, and I like flipped, and the ice was pretty thick, and I hit my head on the ice and then completely flipped into the pool. And I don't know how long I was under there because the water was green. It was just filled with algae. So all I remember was like, it was like being in a washing machine. I just felt like I spun like 10 times. And I was in my Catholic school uniform. How terrifying that, the thought of that. I don't know how long I was under. And I don't remember coming back up. And then the next thing I know, I was hanging outside of the pool, like over the edge. And I looked up to the side of the house where there was nothing. It was just a white image, but it turned into a mirror. So I looked up and I saw my reflection of myself hanging over the side of the pool. Like literally somebody must have just took me and just put me on the side of it. And then there was a glass door there, and then my mom just came out, and then she's like, what the hell are you doing in the pool? And I have no idea how long I was in there. So that was just like...
Wait, who might have pulled you out, though?
I don't know.
Like, this was a public pool?
No, this was our pool in the backyard.
So how would somebody have pulled you out and you wouldn't know who it was?
I don't know who did it. That's the thing. I have no idea. I would just remember spinning, and my head hurt. I wasn't bleeding, but I was knocked out. Like, I don't know how long I was knocked out. And I remember spinning. And then I was just draped over it, and I looked up, and then my house, which was just white shingles, turned into a mirror. And I just saw myself, and I was just like in shock, like, what just happened? And then my mom just nonchalantly just happened to come out and look. She's like, what are you doing? Get out of there. And then I had to go out there and explain to her. I was like, I fell through the pool. I fell through the ice. And, you know, it's a 70s mom. So she's like, she was pissed.
Yeah. You just did a Grindhouse double feature story time here. Like you could have, one of those would have been fine. You got back-to-back Frozen Dog and Unsolved Mysteries Pool Rescue.
Who pulled me out of the pool? No,
this was like that was like a beyond belief fact or fiction kind of thing.
I know, and it's. I mean, it was 100% shoot. I had no idea, but like those two terrifying.
What do you think happened?
I don't. To this day, I don't know. Like if I look at it, like back then, you would lean on the guardian angel. Like it's not your time to go.
Yeah. So I mean, if you were in your Catholic school uniform,
yeah,
especially,
they just drench you on the. Somebody took the sides. Like I can't believe he did this, and just dropped me on the side and then walked away.
Yeah.
But like if it was like. Now looking at it, it's like if this is a simulation, somebody press pause. And then like you had these two things that came out and put me there, moved out, and then hit unpause.
What's up, Mike? You missed Jeff's two horrific pool stories just now. One involved a frozen dog, and the other one involves a guardian angel. So I don't know. You're gonna have to rewind the podcast.
Yeah, it was a near-death experience where my house turned into a mirror that only happened because I was unsuccessful in saving my mom's toy poodle from drowning through the ice. All leading up to this is why, to me, pools have always been heels. And on top of that, after watching Jaws, have you ever imagined, like, what if somebody just, like, flew by in a helicopter and dropped a shark into the pool? Like, you'd be done. Like, or a snake was in the pool, or an alligator was in the pool. To me, it's just like pools are the heels that you don't expect to be heels because everyone thinks they're just nothing but fun in the sun. So now... Blumhouse? Is it Blumhouse that's doing it?
I think it is Blumhouse, yeah.
Blumhouse is like, you know what? Pools are heels. It's going to be a haunted pool.
I mean, you've convinced me just now. But did you know this movie's based on a short?
No, I did not know.
Yeah, I was just Googling, and I was like,
Anthony put a pools that are high heels.
yeah, there's a short called Night Swim from 9 years ago. Apparently, this is based on.
Oh, Mike said the same thing as you. It sounds like a Robert Frank fact or fiction. Fake.
Exactly.
Jonathan Franks. It's fake. It was a hoax. Not true. But no, it was 100%. It was a shoot, man. It was 100% shoot.
So I don't know. Maybe on the break. I don't know if we can. I don't think we can play this on the show here, but it's on Vimeo.
I didn't know it was a short.
Yeah.
But think about this.
It's only 2.5 minutes.
When you were watching it, did you not get the vibes of Jo Beth Williams in the Still Being Dug pool where she was with real skeletons and poltergeists? I kind of got that vibe too.
I honestly don't know. Like I see this trailer and I'm like, I don't even know what this is at all. What is it? It's like the pool is to me. It's like the pool is a nightmare. It's like it costs so much, it's so hard to maintain, and that's the horror story. Was what I was thinking, but I don't know. I think a pool is ripe for a horror movie because it's a place where you can die.
You can die there.
Yeah.
Is there anything scarier than a dark shadow at the bottom of your pool when you go to jump in there by yourself?
I've never gone night swimming, so I can't really.
Night swimming is and that's a whole nother beast.
Yeah.
Or the thought of reaching into the filter and your hand getting stuck.
I mean, yeah. Or no, the horror story was always your intestines would get sucked out of your ass by the filter. Not to sit on that.
There's another thing that we used to do. That we used to do is we had this ladder that had 3 rungs, and what we would try to do. And we weren't professionals, we were, 7 years old at the time. I bet you can't swim through this rung, then this rung, then this rung, and then wiggle your body out all in one breath and then come to the top. And we were chubbier kids at the time too. So we were chubby little Houdinis doing our best to try to wiggle out of these ladders. And I'm thinking now is like, what would have stopped us from getting stuck in the ladder and just drowning?
Yeah. You basically dared each other to not drown.
Exactly. So there's so many heal potential in these pools. So when they did the reaching into the filter, I was like, yep, I feel that. Or the dark shadow at the bottom, I'm like, yeah, I feel that. So I don't know. I'm just intrigued.
Well, let's see. The short that it's based on is only 2.5 minutes. It's crazy.
Should we try?
I don't know if we should we watch it? I don't know if that's a good idea.
I don't know either.
We can watch it on a break here real quick, or I can put the link in the chat and our folks can watch it and tell us what happens.
Yeah, we can do that too. Mike says, reminds me of the episode Are You Afraid of the Dark with the pool ghost? I don't know, man. And just like the thought is that's pretty terrifying being trapped under the water.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think there's the whole buried alive, burned alive, and drowning are all pretty up there with a terrifying factor.
Drowning is a bad one.
Yeah.
I always have getting shot in there.
Getting shot.
I mean, that would suck, like really bad.
But doesn't it feel like being shot would be like, man, this is really annoying? Where if you're like trapped in the water, the level of panic I feel like would be so much more heightened.
I mean, I think you'd have panic for both.
Yeah.
If you were just shot in the chest randomly, you're a target and you're shot in the chest.
Yeah.
And the irony is lost because you're dying.
Yeah. That's true. I don't know.
Unaliving. Did I just?
Oh, it's all right. We're still going. We're still rolling. It could be, but there's something. Maybe there's a level of you're trapped where, if you get, if you take a slug. I feel like there's always that chance of like some kind of adrenaline or something where you can just like get up and start running, or like, I need a doctor or somebody help, where like if you're under the water, nobody can hear you. That's another thing. Like nobody can hear you scream. That was the whole thing with Alien, right? In space, nobody can hear you scream. Nobody can hear you scream. Like that's what lifeguards teach you, right? Like a true drowning thing isn't this like flailing arms and splashing. It's just like nothingness. So, and that could happen. It doesn't have to be in the ocean. Forget it. I think the level of being terrified, if it was in the ocean, forget it. It's like, it's through the roof compared to a pool. But I'm intrigued, like, okay, how are you going to contain this in a 9-foot body of water where if usually you're not by yourself. Are you sold now on Night Swim? Maybe still no.
I've got to watch the trailer again. I mean, I might go see it. I mean, I will go, honestly, like, I will be likely to go see it because it's an original premise, one of the only 2 original movies on this list that they're dumping in January. So I'm not sold. I don't know what it is, but that's enough to intrigue me to go and say, what is this?
A big surprise in January.
Yeah.
I could do that. So, Mike, we were working off your list, and we were just going to go through one by one, and that was the first one. The second one comes a month later. And this was one, you told me that you try not to watch trailers outside the movie theater, and then luckily I happened to see a trailer in the movie theater that I didn't see on my computer or my phone. And that was for Argyle. And I had no idea this movie was even coming. This Matthew Vaughn flick. And then I couldn't make heads or tail of it because you're in the theater getting ready to watch what you're going to see, but then all of a sudden you see Henry Cavill, you see John Cena, you see Bryce Howard in there, and I'm like, the cast is different. You got Sam Rockwell in there, and I'm like, what is happening here? And it instantly pulled me in, and I had that moment of you saying, see, that's what I mean. If you watch this in the theater, your hype level is going to be higher.
Yeah.
So, are you a fan? Matthew Vaughn, I
like Matthew Vaughn. I think he makes good films. I'm not a huge fan of the Kingsman movies. Those weren't really my favorite. I love other stuff he's done. Layer Cake. Really good.
Yes.
Trying to think of others, but I am a fan of his. I think he's a great director, and I want to see what he's done.
He did Kick-Ass, right?
I think... no, he didn't do Kick-Ass. No, he did the first Kick-Ass. That's right.
Oh, yeah, the first Kick-Ass, yeah.
Which I do like Kick-Ass. Those were good, too. Yeah, it looks good. I think it's going to be great.
He's the one that successfully did the prequels of X-Men, right? He did the First Class, and that kind of got people buzzing a little bit. He did
the first X-Men reboot.
Oh, and then he did Stardust and Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels.
No, he didn't do that. That was Guy Ritchie, but he might have produced or wrote.
Oh, maybe he was a producer in there.
Yeah, but he's in that same kind of group of those British indie director guys.
All right, but yeah, I'm excited to see this. And
he did Tetris, Mike. Is that right? Did he do the Tetris movie?
Oh, that wouldn't surprise me because that was freaking fantastic. So that doesn't surprise me at all. That was so good.
Well, I mean, I'm into it. It's got now look, this might just be a fact of being around too long and seeing too many movies, but the vibe I got automatically, I don't know if it connected with you, is Romancing the Stone. This is Romancing the Stone.
Yes, it did, right? Because she's an author.
Right.
That's right.
She's an author, and she's created this character who's awesome, and now she's saved by adventure guy who is cooler than the guy she made up, kind of thing.
Yes.
It's pretty much that, right?
Man.
Now, that means nothing to a young person who's going to go watch this, never saw Romancing the Stone. I think that movie's only available on 8-track. You can't even get it anywhere.
What great cover art for that and Jewel of the Nile.
That was back when after they made Indiana Jones, and it was let's make movies like that.
Yes. Richard Quartermain, he had one too, right?
Yeah. Any Romancing, that's the vibe I got. I bet it'll be good. It looks great.
I like the cat. I like the weird diversity of that cast too. I feel like they were all over the board a little bit too.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that when you have the people that don't necessarily match up or they shouldn't be in this film and they're in there at the same time. And the last time I think that kind of happened was with Brad Pitt and Leo DiCaprio in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
That was what you said for Tango and Cash, that's sometimes it's too much and it doesn't work. So I'm really curious. It worked for, Brad and Leo. Will it work for John Cena and Superman and Peacekeeper? Wasn't
Sam Rockwell the lead of that movie?
Yeah, I think it's going to be more.
I didn't see Cena in it.
Cena's in it, yeah.
Oh. Well, Sam Rockwell's doing he's getting that lead opportunity to be a lead. He was almost Iron Man.
Well, did he? And then they booked him for the heel instead.
Yeah, he was one of the top choices if they couldn't get Robert Downey. He was next.
Is there? I mean, there's just so many movies that Sam Rockwell did make it in. I mean, so these near misses don't surprise me, but
Yeah.
he steals the show a lot. I mean, obviously he stole the show in Galaxy Quest, right? And which was just an ensemble. He was great in. I don't know if many people have fond memories of Charlie's Angels, Mick G's Charlie's Angels. It was, like you said, it was a different time, so
Yeah.
I kind of do. And I definitely do of Sam Rockwell playing that just cool dancing heel.
In Charlie's Angels?
In Charlie's Angels. He was the swerve in there.
The second one?
The first one in 2000.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. That's
he was
right.
the rich
Okay,
guy,
got it.
and then he just had the swerve in there.
Yeah, he was great in Confessions of a Dangerous Mind.
Oh, yes, the Gong Show. Yeah, he was fantastic in
He's
that.
excellent in the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
He was in that.
He's in that.
I love-
The Green Mile was the first time I remember.
Oh, yes, he was in the Green
him.
Mile. What about Moon? I really liked Moon.
Moon was really good. Yeah,
Which
yeah. He's been in a lot of stuff, and I think he's still been sort of a second lead. He's never been a leading man per se, or like in a studio hit movie kind of sense.
that he hasn't busted through, like
Yeah.
you said.
But this movie has him. They've got the John Wick style action going. That's where everything's going, which I'd like. Which I think is interesting because the thing about Matthew Vaughn's movies that I didn't like really is the hyper stylized action. That just kind of I've lost the taste for that. I think they're going with the more grounded John Wick style stuff,
Yeah.
which I think that'll work better.
Unrelated, did you see the article that popped out today that the director of John Wick said he would love to make a Star Wars?
I mean, imagine that lightsaber battle.
Oh my god! Yeah, they need to. They'll never do it.
Something.
I mean-
I think that's a great idea. Why not? Who's going to do it?
Catholic Kennedy, yeah, she wouldn't do it. But if they did that, holy smokes! Can you? Yeah, like you said, that lightsaber battle,
Yeah.
would be like nothing you've ever seen.
It'd be 2.5 hours of just lightsaber fighting. Everybody would
man.
have two blasters, and the blasters would have clips because
Yeah, you'd have to throw them to the side and
I
reload,
guess you
right?
would charge them with batteries. I don't know how blasters actually work, but
Yeah.
they'd add all that.
Stop and charge, and then you choke them with the charger. Maybe
Yeah.
that would be doing it.
That's a whole other show, though.
So yeah, that's gonna. I think that's gonna do really well. I know the King's Man, which was like the prequel to the Kingsman, came out in February, and it didn't have as good of a reception as the other ones, but it was also a weird time when it came out. So I feel like they're trying to put Matthew Vaughn, as like the February guy, kind of like Nolan's like the July guy. Matthew Vaughn's like the February guy. But I think this will pull people in because I feel like it has appeal to men and women.
I mean, sadly, the reason this is in February is because they can't explain it with a single wordless image.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you look at the poster for Argyle, and it's like you can't tell what this is.
No, people have no idea.
So it's just not what studios are comfortable pushing.
Yeah. But it's right there around holidays, so you might be able to it could be date night.
It could be.
If it-
And I encourage people to go watch it. We should go see it.
Yeah.
I'll go see it. I'm going to go see this and Night Swim because it's an original idea. And these are the only two movies on this
Yeah,
list.
We got to warn
that
you
are
that
not IP-based.
from here on out, there are no more original properties.
Which
Like,
is crazy.
from here on out.
But then again, that's not all the films coming out, by the way.
No, there's other ones that you got to dig a little bit, do a little bit of digging. But also in February, they're going to drop Madam Web. What do you know about Madam Web? You saw the trailer, right?
Absolutely nothing. I've never read a Madam Web comic. It's like it feels to me like when you go to the flea market and they've got the action figures and it's like it's not Spider-Man. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's like something else. Spider guy or Spider cut. What is it's somehow Spider-Man adjacent.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, she is a character in the Spider-Man universe. This is Sony's third attempt for their spinoff with Venom, which was successful. Morbius, It's Morbin Time was not. And now we have Madam Web with who's in it, Dakota Johnson, right? And it's like some kind of I don't know much about Madam Web. I always thought she was like an older lady, but it had something to do with the multiverse behind the scenes attaches like spider webs are like the different timelines, and she has a way she can see it's Madam Madame time.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I literally don't know what to expect with this film.
Expect me not to be there.
Didn't expect that.
I will not be watching Madam Web.
You held strong on, like, you didn't go see It's Morbin time, right? You didn't see Morbius?
I didn't.
You held strong.
Yeah.
But you saw Venom?
I saw the first Venom.
Yeah, you didn't miss much with the second one.
Yeah.
People don't talk about the second one, but the second one was a swing and a miss, so.
Yeah.
We'll see. What do you think Sony's just like, although, you know, the whole narrative before was like Sony needs to come to their senses and go to Marvel, but I liken it now to, you know, when you're on your plane, you're supposed to pull your mask down first before you help somebody else with their mask.
Yeah.
Marvel's trying to put their mask on right now.
Yeah.
They can't necessarily help Sony right now because they're trying to figure out to get out of their own mess.
Well, I mean, what do you mean by that?
Well, just right now with the whole the Kang the Conqueror thing is kind of complete.
You're talking about Marvel.
Yeah, how they're kind of where Sony, like, we know that Sony is the only success Sony's had since Tobey Maguire was the one that they worked with on Marvel.
Yeah.
They didn't, I mean, I don't know. I think Venom was just, people were happy to see Venom on screen, but it could have been a way better Venom. And then Morbius should have worked and it didn't. So they're already in trouble. And Marvel's trying to fix themselves so they can't help Sony right now.
Yeah. Well, I think part of it is they just have to crank out Spider-Man content or they lose the rights.
Yeah.
Just one of those things.
And it shows.
So here it is. This is a Spider-Man related movie. Somehow, I think it's going to have Uncle Ben as a young man or something like that.
Yeah, I think is going to have.
It's fine. It's
just like expecting
they're just grabbing for any IP that they can use to build into something. They're just chucking Hail Marys out there, you know, to just try and land something. Because the thing is, Venom, the first Venom is not really a Venom movie. It's just some weird, funny movie that worked somehow. You know what I mean? I don't think they nailed Venom. They did not. The movie just worked.
Yeah, they didn't nail it by any stretch.
Movies will be watched mostly on airplanes. It's true. This is part of this discussion. It's the sad state of movies in 2024. I put this on the preview. State of the Film Union 2024.
You're just a captive audience on the plane. So like, okay, well, I guess I'll watch this. I can't go for a walk.
Well, I have no internet. I can't do anything. I guess I'll have to watch this movie. It's true, man. What is going to, just imagine the future here, not in the near, not too distant future. Like Running Man, like whatever Running Man was from the 80s, like just imagine we get to there. How is anybody going to be able to pay attention to a movie? You think a person raised that has TikTok and a phone their whole life is going to be able to sit through a movie?
Yeah, no.
An entire film? And movies just keep getting longer.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
They have not gotten the memo. Like, maybe you should shorten this up a little bit.
Yeah, shorten movies up a little bit. Just
shorten it up and give a bunch of creators like $500,000, and that's just as big of a gamble as giving, you know, one film, you know, $300 million. Split it up against a bunch of creators, and I bet you one of them is really going to break out. More than likely 10 of them are going to break out and make your money back.
Yeah.
But they're never going to do that. Like, that's just, again, the wrong people have the right jobs now.
Real quick, I just want to add in, because I know we're moving on to the list. There's also the Mean Girls remake coming out.
Which is not on the list.
Yeah.
Well, not on this.
No, it's not, because this is just like the comic book stuff. You got the Book of Clarence coming out, which looks interesting.
That one does look interesting.
It's like a biblical comedy with the Keith Stanfield.
But can we go back to Mean Girls for a second before you jump on that one? Because I am interested in seeing that one.
Yeah.
what the hell? Is this a sequel? Are they remaking this? And I told you, I just saw they're having a Broadway show about it too. Like, what is this? Isn't it too soon to be remaking Mean Girls?
That's funny that you asked. I just figured this out myself. This is the movie of the Broadway play.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they're not showing it in the trailer, but there's going to be songs all over the place in this one.
Oh, I was so confused because
I was confused as well. I was like, how can they just remake Mean Girls and have the same actors in it too? I was like, is this Mean Girls the next generation? But it's the exact same story. It's not. You know?
It's actually...
So this is, the Broadway play being made into a movie.
Because Liz Lemon's the teacher in both of them, right?
Yeah, and the ladies' man is also still in. He's still the principal.
Yeah, I'm not surprised he's still around, especially around all those young girls. Oh, man. But the Book of Clarence, that is one that should get a little bit of a shout out.
That's cool, man. I mean, I'm interested. I'm
intrigued.
That's something. Remember biblical comedies? They made those for a while, right?
Yeah, the History of the World Part 1.
Yeah,
man. That was always...
Yeah. Like when Mel Brooks is at the last dinner, the Last Supper.
That's right. And did you know that there was 15 commandments before that? And then you found out there was 10.
I mean, you had that. You had like Life of Brian.
Life of Brian, yeah, that was another one. That was really good.
Anyway, so I'm interested to see that. That looks cool. So there's other stuff coming out, folks. Support these movies as well.
Find your way to the theaters to see these other movies.
And here's one. You got The Beekeeper coming out with Jason Statham.
Yes.
Surely you've seen that trailer.
Yeah, that's another January drop, right?
Which I guess you could say that's sort of an IP because Jason Statham is an IP.
He's his own IP.
Yeah, it's a Jason Statham movie. He makes pretty much the same movie every day.
It hits close to home if you've ever had your grandmother that said, "Hey, I opened up this email. Is this bad?"
Yeah.
And then he goes, I mean, I guess that's a pretty cool premise to come up with a reason for Jason Statham to get to the very top.
It's more of the John Wick effect, you know?
Yeah.
John Wick came out and they killed his dog, and that's basically sets off the entire 5 movies worth of John Wick. And so they're just shooting for that premise. It's like his grandmother got hacked. And then we cut later, it's like Beekeeper 5, and he's still taking out these folks.
Oh man. Yeah, I will watch that.
They hacked his grandmother. Okay, and then there was another movie coming out. Surely you've seen the trailer. Well, I don't know. You haven't gone to the movies that much, right? Have you seen the trailer for ISS?
Oh, I have.
It's like the space station, international, and then war breaks out on Earth.
Yeah.
That looks good. I want to see that.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
I'm still a little, I ain't going to lie, I'm still a little shook from Leave the World Behind. Like you said, it felt like a TV show, but it felt pretty real. So I felt a little shook by it.
Yeah.
So I know when ISS, you always wondered that, right? That feels like a Twilight Zone premise. Like when you're in space and then all of a sudden everything below you is gone. What do you do?
Yeah.
Which also was premise, or it was a storyline in The Last Man on Earth, which was a comedy, but was a great comedy that went away too soon. I thought that one was great. So yeah.
Leave the World Behind also felt like a Twilight Zone episode.
It did.
Very easily.
Which shout out to Twilight Zone marathons. Everyone talks about the Christmas Story 24 hours, but this time of year, I recorded every single one, and I watched a bunch on the day, but I've been going back and just kind of flicking through and always trying to find one that I never saw before.
Yeah.
And it's just like Rod Serling, just like way ahead of his time. He was definitely, people can watch that and you can get a premise for a movie and have a movie that'll knock people's socks off. And a lot of that, Black Mirror does that as well. So I'm surprised some studio exec doesn't get their head out of their ass and do that, but they won't, because even though it's an IP, they won't do it.
No. That's the thing. Things don't have to just be IPs anymore. They have to be familiar. Like, you can't even make an original movie. This is part of the State of the Film Union of 2024. I was going to bring this up. It's like, even if you're out there trying to make an original film, you have an original premise for your whatever movie, it has to feel like something else that people can immediately say, oh, I get what this is.
Yeah.
That was my deal with that movie, The Creator. It was like, It looks awesome. The effects are great, and it's allegedly an original, IP story, future sci-fi. It's great. And Gareth Edwards is a great director, but it's like, the story is like very familiar. Burnt out ex-soldier has to go on the road with a little girl. It's just we've just seen it a bunch of times.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Whether it's the actor that's in there or the feel of the movie, it feels like that.
It's like so you have to take an original movie that you want to do and make sure that it feels familiar to something folks have already seen. That's the only way studio will buy in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Even if they go to a, Sundance and they love it, it doesn't get the wide release that something that looks familiar does. You're 100% right about that.
And so that was it's a bummer about that movie. The most interesting thing about it, I think, was how they shot it. But it's just like remixes of songs we've heard before.
That's a good way to put it. The whole William Hurt, you're just retelling the same stories.
Yeah, and it's getting bad, man. Like I don't know.
Well, I know you were, where you're talking about QT, we're talking about, Hollywood is dead kind of thing. Then I feel like it could also have a splinter effect, right? You're going to have whatever it is that studios always does, and then you can have some independent fare, and then you're going to have truly independent fare, which is the creators on YouTube that'll get something that'll knock people's socks off.
That's fine, and that I'm all for that. But what's going to suck is we won't get to see those movies in theaters ever.
No.
I saw that movie, like I told you, I saw that movie The Killer on Netflix at the theater. I thought it was great. I loved it, but I can't say that I would have liked it as much if I saw it at home first.
Yeah. I think you're right. No, there is something about being in the theater that made it feel special. We'll talk about it when we talk about Michael Mann, that I definitely had a little bit of film jealousy that you got to see Thief, which only got to see it in home theaters. To see that in an actual theater, it was pretty.
Alan was doing all the Michael Mann.
It makes it feel special. It just makes it feel special, and the whole people aren't afraid of distractions at home anymore. And maybe you are too. I'm still afraid that I can't watch something at home without being distracted, because I know I have the ability to pause it and go get something, and that immediately takes you out of the moment.
Yeah.
You grab your phone, it immediately takes you out of the moment. Where in the theater, it's like maybe you'd have the same experience if you turned the lights off at home, you had a big screen, sweet sound, but then you also handcuffed yourself and you make sure your bladder was empty.
Yeah.
Then maybe you can be in the moment.
Yeah. And you also have the ability to pause and everything. It's just one of those things. And I just think that's what we're going to lose. And it's just the only thing in the theater is going to be these huge IP roller coaster rides. And we won't get to see some of these other films get a shot at playing on the big screen.
Man, and if they would just, it's all about balance. And if they just balanced it out and put some other stuff in there, adult fare, if you will, which was what they would call it, adult films, as Quentin Tarantino called it, I think they would do surprisingly, people would go. You'd get people to come out, but man, you're not going to get people to, like, if you showed the average, not a alpha moviegoer like us, but if you showed somebody who casually goes to the movie this list, that's not going to entice them at all. They're going to be like, no, I'm good. Yeah. I'm not, I'll scroll through, I'll watch, the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills or some shit. Yeah. Instead of committing to that, because they know that they can just walk away from that. They can't walk away from this.
Yeah. And there's nothing for these big actors to do anymore. There's nothing for them to do.
No.
Like, what movies can they be? What movies can they do other than these IP films? Like, again, like I bring up my example. I think it always spells it out. It's like an 88 or whatever. Biggest movie of the year and best picture of the year for the Oscar was Rain Man. And it's like, what's the premise of Rain Man? It's an a-hole kidnaps his autistic brother and teaches him how to count cards.
Yeah, exactly.
You would not get, that's a Netflix movie now.
Yeah, you wouldn't get that.
A poorly done Netflix movie.
You would not.
And instead, that was something that, like, Dustin Hoffman, some of the best actors of our time, great director, great writers, all collaborating on that one thing.
Yeah. It
And
would
now
never happen in a million years
No.
now. Never happen in a million years.
Yeah. Let's pick any movie that won Best Picture in the 80s. I guarantee it. It's like it would be it would be a Netflix movie that nobody watches.
How would you pitch Chariots of Fire? It's another.
Is that the caveman movie?
No, that's the Dune, the running on the beach, the runners. Yeah. Because
That was like an epic period piece. I think that would probably work. They love those still.
Well, I don't know. Like, I don't see a lot of steam for the boys in the boat, and that's what made me think of Chariots and Fire.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
I was just like, you might get it in there, but it's not going to get a lot of steam.
Yeah. It's a little bit of a throwback kind of a film, huh?
Yeah. Autism. It did. And you couldn't. That would get so many people up, their hackles up too.
Yeah.
Right. If it wasn't somebody who was, because the Woody Harrelson movie, which I have not watched yet, where he was teaching the autistic kids basketball, they all had autism for real. That was a shoot.
Right.
You couldn't be an actor pretending to have autism. You'd have to hire an actor who actually had autism.
Right.
So the people be like, no, we're not going to touch that.
Yeah. But anyway,
I'm curious what you're going to say on this next film, because I fell for a piece of what I thought was advertising with this, but it was an Onion article when it says Dune Part 2 promises to take off right from the spot where you fell asleep in the first one. And I don't know what your thoughts are on Dune, because this was during lockdown, and it was one of the first movies right around Tenet that they did get a theatrical release, but I did not see it in theaters.
I didn't either. I saw it on HBO Max.
So I had distractions.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I like it better than the David Lynch version, if I could say that on the internet. I thought it was fine. It's good. I think Denis Villeneuve is a great director. That'll be fine. I'll go see that. But again, it's still something that's been made multiple times before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dune has been done as a movie, TV show, whatever. Cartoon. Was there a cartoon? I'm pretty sure.
Was there a cartoon for Dune?
I don't know.
There may have been.
Yeah.
I don't know if
I'm not a huge Dune guy. I think that'd be a great shirt. I'm not a Dune guy.
Yeah, Dune 84 was definitely a little bit more trippy.
I think when you watch the Dune 84, you really get how they're really speeding through the story.
Yeah, it did feel like fast forward.
Yeah.
Arun said, have we ever seen a movie about the autistic crew team?
I have not seen that one, Arun.
No, I did not see that one. Champion was the one I was thinking of. That was the basketball shoes. But
I did see that. That was funny.
Yeah, that. I think that worked well.
It's Farley Brothers movie. You know what it is.
You know what you're getting.
Yeah.
But
Happy New Year, Arun. Thanks for dropping by.
I will go see Dune 2, and I'm curious how to see the theater. But this is definitely going to be a movie. Even though I saw Dune 84, I didn't read the book, but I might need to watch a YouTube video that says everything you need to know about Dune before you go see Dune Part 2.
Yeah, that's fair.
So because there was some whatever cliffhanger it left on, and I know it was a cliffhanger, it wasn't enough that I was just like, oh man, what's going to happen? I was just like, okay, I'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Take it easy.
Yeah.
The next movie, why? That's all I had to say on that one. Kung Fu Panda 4. Did we need 4? And then was there a 3?
I think there was a 3, yeah. Lucha Lottie's looking forward to that one, actually. She's a Kung Fu Panda fan.
Really? But yeah, the first one was great. And I had vague memories of the second one, but I didn't know there was a 3, much less a 4. You know what happened with a lot of these shows like this? Similar to what's happening with Marvel. With the advent of streaming, they started having like these shorts and spin-offs of the same characters showing on shorts and streaming, to the point where I couldn't tell what came from the film and what came from the show. It kind of like shrunk the characters a little bit, right? Do you feel that?
I don't know. I never saw any of the Kung Fu Pandas. I don't really. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I imagine
the first one was great.
Yeah,
the first one was really good.
Yeah, I mean, it's a cartoon. They can do pretty much as many as they want.
Well, and it's got Jack Black, like Mike said, he's bankable animation because of Mario Brothers,
For sure.
right? You know,
Oh, you bet your sweet Bippy he's going to do a song in this one.
oh, you know he's going to. And did you see the big news with Jack Black? And he had a Minecraft for Dummies, and that's how he did his announcement that he's going to be in the Minecraft movie.
Oh yeah.
When they tell me they're not, they're like, well, if Jack Black did that for Mario Brothers, what is he going to do for Minecraft?
Yeah.
So
We'll get a Minecraft song too. I mean, that's the thing. He's got that going for him. I think he's just bankable now in a video game film.
yeah, there's no. He's always been such a. What was the name of the movie where he got his arm blown off? That was like the first movie that I really remembered seeing him in, and that was when he was still kind of like a side character actor.
He got his arm blown off?
Yeah.
Tropic Thunder?
No, it was before that. It was before he really became big.
I don't.
I'm trying to think if it was even before Mars Attacks when he got disintegrated.
I don't remember what he got his arm blown off.
Yeah. It was maybe a Bruce Willis movie and they were testing like a bazooka or something. But anyway, he always just had this. He had the it factor and you knew he was going to be big. We're going to have to find that, or if you see it in the chat.
I'm looking that up here.
What is the name of the movie where Jack Black got he was like an arms dealer, and he's like, you want to test this bazooka, and they tested it, and they blew his arm off for $100.
The Jackal?
The Jackal, that's it.
The Jackal.
He was in the Jackal, yeah. But he just still always had that, like you knew this guy was going to be something.
I mean, even as a kid, he was doing ads. He was like in some Nintendo ads, right?
There you go. Mike got it now too. The Jackal. Yeah, he was in Nintendo ads, right? He was in was it the Power Glove? Did he?
I don't remember. I'd have to look that up too. But yeah,
I love that he was in a Nintendo ad and now he's making video game movies.
Yeah, what a charmed life. Like, he's done well.
How exciting is it going to be? And he really knows how to use Twitter too, or somebody that works for him really knows how to use Twitter.
That's
for him.
usually how it goes, yeah. But, Kung Fu Panda, whatever. I mean, it's crazy that it's part 4, but, we're also getting Saw 11, so what's...
Yeah, exactly. What's the big deal?
What's the big deal at this point?
How exciting, and we'll talk about the Oscars in a little bit. I think for the first time, I'm really, really super psyched on the best song is going to be a great competitive year, because you're going to basically have Ryan Gosling doing a live performance of I'm Just Ken versus Jack Black probably doing a live performance of Peaches, right?
I don't know. I heard that he did not make the short list, which I don't know what that even means. But
really?
He's got to be on it. I don't know why. That's crazy that he would not be.
That's ratings gold if they have that. I mean, that's talk about like a Barbenheimer type event to have those two competing.
Yeah.
On it. It's like, come on. It's like everybody loves those music reality shows, game shows, whatever you want to call it. I want to see Ryan Gosling sing live versus Jack Black sing live.
I mean, that would be killer television. So they should nominate him. I don't know what the short list actually means, but I heard he didn't make it, which is crazy. But again, like I was telling you the other day, Barbie might be competing with itself because there's so many hit songs on there.
There's so many songs on there. It's crazy. Yeah. I used to be a huge mark for the MTV Movie Awards for like in the 90s. I felt like they were getting just as big, at least equal with like the Golden Globes. I watched that pretty religiously, and there was a year that Jack Black was the host, and he just basically sang a song called Movies Kick Ass. Yeah. And he made a video for it. And I'm like, so he knows how to do the live performance for an award show.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure it'd be great. They should nominate him. If they don't, that's crazy.
Oh, that would be dropping the ball, which doesn't surprise me at all. Same day as Kung Fu Panda?
I will be seeing Kung Fu Panda 4 just to end on that note.
You will see it?
I will. Oh, yeah.
All right.
I've never seen any of them, but I'll probably end up seeing part 4.
You'll see 4 and then work your way backwards?
I know. I probably won't work my way back. I'll just see part 4, and that'll be enough Kung Fu Panda for me. But I mean, I might see this one just because. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Lucciolati wants to see it.
All right. Yeah, I mean, it was, like I said, the first one was good, so... On the same day was a movie that I didn't even know was filmed and ready to go, and that was another one I did see the trailer like out of nowhere. It was like an RKO. Was the Ghostbusters? The Frozen Kingdom? Is that what it's called?
I believe so.
I just feel like we were just talking about the other Ghostbusters coming out, and the big spoiler that was in there that the originals were going to be in there, and now the originals are in the trailer, and Paul Rudd is going to be a Ghostbuster, kind of like Rick Moranis became the Ghostbuster. But like, I didn't even know they filmed this. Did you even know this was coming out?
I heard it was happening. Yeah, I mean they yeah,
and they shot it, and there's already stills being released with Dan Aykroyd and Ernie Hudson, Bill Murray are in it, but it almost feels out of nowhere and standalone, kind of like when X-Files, I Want to Believe movie came out, and I'm like, I didn't even know they were doing this, and then it was just a really long episode.
Yeah,
that's what this feels like. Is it going to be like a really long episode?
I don't know. Here's the thing. The trailer was really good. I thought the trailer was great. Ghostbusters, what is this? Ghostbusters 4? 5?
I don't know. Does the girlfriend, is the girl Ghostbusters canon?
I mean, let's just go in terms of how many Ghostbusters movies they've made, right?
Okay.
If that's the case, this is Ghostbusters 6.
2, 3, 4. Yeah, no, 4 or 5, right?
So this is Ghostbusters 5, right?
Yep. And then the Ghostbusters cartoon, and then before they nailed down the IP, they had the fake Ghostbuster cartoon.
Yeah. Yeah, Hollywood does fumble the Ghostbusters bag, but I think there's a reason for that. I think this is my take on Ghostbusters is the first movie was a complete accident.
Yeah.
It was just an accident that movie even exists. It was like an insane script from Dan Aykroyd, who's like, for a shoot, obsessed with the occult, right?
Yeah.
And then Bill Murray showing up and refusing to do his lines and just ad-libbing the whole movie, right?
Yes.
And then you've got, not Harold Ramis, Ivan Reitman directing, solid director, and all these talents, they just like pulled it all together. Somehow. This is a movie that just happened by accident. It's just like, oh, put peanut butter in my chocolate and it's great. And this is the first time they figured it out. They just could never. That's why you watch Ghostbusters 2. It doesn't, like, you think all the elements are there, but you can't recreate that magic because it was a complete accident.
It was the Caddyshack, but the ghost movie version of Caddyshack,
a lot
which was
like
another
that.
one.
Yeah,
Mike said it'd be like making a franchise out of Tommy Boy.
And the movie, the trailer looks great, but look,
John Belushi was supposed to be in it originally, too, right?
Yeah, was going to be in it. That's why they pulled in Bill Murray, I think.
Man,
and I think
what a time though that you can just, again, they just like, okay, let's make it.
Yeah, I would like to do. I wanted to do this segment. We should introduce this year, but it's like I want to do like movie multiverses where things could have been different. Because I was watching because Batman Returns is a Christmas movie that was on.
Oh, damn, that's a whole channel. That's not just that's a whole channel that you just made up.
And I was just like, I was just thinking to myself, they came out the same year, and I was like, in another dimension, you have Batman Returns and the Super Mario Brothers film, right? But in this dimension, Danny DeVito played Super Mario, and Bob Hoskins played the Penguin.
Oh wow, that could have been,
which could have happened very easily,
man. Yeah, he was up for it too, right?
Yeah.
That would have been crazy.
Anyway, movie multiverse.
What was the...
Anyway, as far as Ghostbusters...
Oh, that was in The Flash. I was just like, when they really try to lean into the whole Michael J. Fox was not in Back to the Future in that universe, right?
Right.
Which they did Eric Stoltz. So they kind of leaned into that.
Right.
Man, that's a whole channel. You just came up with a whole channel.
There you go, movie multiverse. But as far as Ghostbusters 5 or whatever, yeah, it's another. It's just you're not going to get Ghostbusters. You're going to get some kind of Ghostbusters flavored stew. But
they're hedging their bets, right? They got Paul Rudd, who still it feels bankable. They're bringing in Stranger Things, Wolfgang, right? Film Wolf Hard. And then the girl that they booked as Egon's daughter looks so much like him.
Get the kids out of there.
Yeah, you don't want no Ghostbusters for kids.
Yeah.
They're too young.
Just get the kids out of there. Why do we need these kids in the movie? There was no kids in Ghostbusters 1 or 2.
That's true.
Just get the kids out of there. Why do we need that? It was like, they went for Stranger Things. They wanted to pull them in. Just get the kids out of there.
It makes it feel like the Young Avengers, right? Like young Ghostbusters, where it might
Why not just Paul Rudd, Camille Nanunjali, and whoever else? Just like, why can't that be the Ghostbusters? Why do we need these kids running around?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Even kids don't want the kids there. Like, who is this appealing to?
Yeah, I don't know. Good question. I didn't know. I guess the one that released did well enough that they're like, okay, let's ride this train. I don't remember it breaking any box off, like being blown away, right?
The last Ghostbusters movie?
It was successful enough,
I guess it was
right?
successful enough. I think, wasn't that also pandemic-y? So, like, it's hard to gauge the success.
Yeah, it really is now. It's really hard to gauge what people consider success.
Yeah. So, I mean, it made enough for them to crank out another one. And again, the premise is intriguing. It feels like it could be that could be Ghostbusters 3 because I like the sort of ice angle. That's cool.
Different.
I mean, it's the city being taken over, which is like what Ghostbusters 1 and 2 were going for,
Yeah.
And this third one, it's an ice age. Oh, that's kind of cool. I could imagine that being Ghostbusters 3. But again, Ghostbusters, the original Ghostbusters was a complete accident. It's just you can't make it again. You didn't write down the recipe, you didn't copy anything, and it just happened.
And the original script was darker, right? You said Dan Aykroyd wrote like a 200-page script,
right?
And then is Ghostbusters without Ray Parker Jr.? He's got to get some credit, right?
Because of the song.
Right?
Oh, the song was huge.
Yeah.
And like, it was one of those videos. Remember, it had so many celebrity cameos in it?
Yeah.
It's like, why is Danny DeVito in this?
So it looks like Ghostbusters Afterlife made $200 million worldwide. So I guess
that doesn't seem like a lot these days, but I don't know what the budget is.
And you got to count worldwide, where before you didn't really count worldwide. Now that is part of it.
For sure. Ride the train, man.
Yeah.
I think it just loses the appeal. Ghostbusters were not superheroes. They were like exterminators, janitors, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
That was the whole idea. It's like they were like blue collar dudes doing a job, and like they just spun it off. Like, I don't know. You can't recreate some of that magic. The one scene in Ghostbusters when the mayor lets them out of jail, right? And they arrive at the building, and like they get out of the car and they're playing that badass music.
Oh, yes.
You know that one scene I'm talking about?
Yep.
That was like, they just shot that in New York in public. All those people just were real. They were just watching what's going on. And that's just such an awesome scene where it takes that movie, it just ups that movie's just sort of like, becomes an action movie there.
It does.
It takes a turn. It's crazy. I don't know. I don't know how you do that again.
And the first one for being a comedy, just because you had these comedians in there, didn't the stakes feel a little bit more serious? Like the stakes seem higher. I don't know if it's because they had the same heel from Die Hard 2 that you knew that there was the city was in real danger, where I don't know if it's a little bit too comedic now, so you don't feel like real danger. Does that make any sense? In the 80s, it could be a comedy, but the danger felt real, a little bit more real.
I mean, yeah, kind of. I mean, they're very nonchalant about ghosts in general through the first 2/3 of the movie.
Right.
It's just like, ghosts exist, we catch them, and it's not done. They're not winking at the camera about it. They're literally just catching ghosts, like if rat catcher or dog catchers or something like that,
Right.
And then at the very end, it's just like, oh, by the way, ghosts are dangerous and can destroy the whole city.
They're the danger. It felt the danger. So, all right, we'll see. That's March. The next one is not Godzilla v Kong. It's Godzilla X Kong, the new empire.
Here, I need to grab something to drink real quick.
Yeah, you want to take a quick break or?
No, just keep talking about Godzilla.
So, I started watching the Monarch show on Apple TV. So if you didn't know, check it out. It was an interesting premise because you had Kurt Russell and his son Wyatt Russell playing the same characters over a time period, and it's good. It's got it's good in the sense that I'm interested and I'm curious and I'm kind of going along for the ride, but I keep forgetting that it exists and I have to go back and catch up on some episodes.
Yeah,
and I'm kind of starting to feel this now with this whole monster universe, the new one, because I don't know, I just felt like it didn't get the reception, and Godzilla v Kong should have been way bigger in my mind, but that's when the versus movies weren't working, right? Remember one of our most popular videos on here with, coming out at the same Batman v Superman and Jason v. Freddy. Like, this should have been bigger and it didn't come out as big. So I was actually surprised that they even did this. And then, like Mike said...
You're talking about Godzilla versus Kong?
Yeah.
Also a pandemic movie.
Yeah.
Day and date release on HBO Max.
Yeah. So that the timing of it. And now the timing of it is Godzilla at -1 did bonkers box office. I mean, it's a huge hit.
Yeah.
And it's completely separate from this new universe they're creating, and it's going to cause a little bit of market confusion. So, but this one is like underground, and it's like a baby Kong. So, and then they got that guy who's in it. I can't think of his name. He was in the Eternals. They shouldn't make it feel like a comedy. I want to feel danger.
Yeah.
Even when you were a kid, you didn't start laughing at Godzilla until you were older. But when you were younger, you felt a little bit of danger.
Yeah.
Because it's just like he could just step on a bunch of people and it's over just like that.
Yeah. I mean,
they shouldn't be joking about this.
Yeah.
And it feels a little too jokey for me. And I'm a huge mark. I've always pulled for Kong. I loved even Kong, the second one in that monster universe when they went to the Skull Island. I dug that. But I don't know what to, I guess it's not that I dislike this movie. I have no idea what to expect.
Yeah. Honestly, like they should just cancel it.
Just cancel it.
Yeah, just whatever they do, however they write off the movies, just like write it off. Godzilla -1 is so much far and above any other Godzilla movie made in the last 30 years or whatever. A movie that does Godzilla as a shoot. You know what I mean?
That's what we need.
And it's Godzilla's terrifying, and he steps on people.
Yeah,
he does all that.
Respect Godzilla.
Yeah, and like the only thing that interests me about this movie is I'm a fan of the director. Really liked Adam Wingard coming up as an indie director. He really he paid his dues. He made some great stuff, and he finally broke through to the studio system, and he's getting to make his Godzilla. So I have faith in that. But this does look like a giant toy commercial to me.
Yeah, and unfortunately, like you said, if the director is going to having respect for the director, also, but I don't want these monsters to feel smaller, and they feel smaller, like size wise. I feel like they're like, well, we got to make them feel a little bit smaller to make it feel relatable. And I'm like, you don't make Godzilla smaller, you don't make Kong smaller. They just feel smaller.
Yeah.
And there was that great gif of how the team up of Godzilla and Kong running together next to each other like Avengers Assemble.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like they'd always be more like frenemies, like they'd be punching at each other and punching ahead.
I guess I never thought that Godzilla would run. It never occurred to me. When I saw it, I was fine with it. But after seeing Godzilla -1, I'm just like, no, he shouldn't run.
Yeah, he doesn't have to run.
Shouldn't run. Shouldn't be running.
That was the great thing about Jason. He never had to run.
Yeah.
Why is he going to run? He's going to get you eventually.
Yeah.
That's the danger.
Kong can run.
Kong can run.
They don't both have to run.
Yeah. So we'll see. I just don't know what to expect. I'm not saying I'm not going to see it. I'm probably going to see it because I'm a mark, but I don't know what to expect.
I'll probably go see it because I'm a fan of Adam Wingard, and I'm glad that he's I'm glad that he's making this film, and I have faith that he's going to put a spin on it. Hopefully that'll make it unique.
Yeah,
and it won't just be whatever cannon fodder.
I hope so. I hope I'm like pleasantly surprised.
But see Godzilla -1.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if it's not rentable yet. But definitely
Everybody's
your
talked.
queue.
I mean, that's
Like it could. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it got nominated for like best foreign picture.
really.
It's really good, dude. I liked it better than
People love
Oppenheimer.
People are. Everybody who's seen it has absolutely loved it. Like absolutely loved it. So,
Yeah.
Next movie in May, which this is strange. So with all the strike debacle, they don't have like the first week in May was always the launch of the summer movie season. And then they start even leaking into like that last week, April. Now we're not really getting anything because of the strike until May 17th, right? And a big movie. And this movie doesn't feel like an IP, but what you were talking about earlier, it feels so familiar because it's Ryan Reynolds in the If movie from John Krasinski,
What is that?
If is the Ryan Reynolds movie where he goes back and he finds out that his imaginary friends were real, but they're all like these giant, very animated looking characters. It's a family movie for sure, but it's Ryan Reynolds. So it feels like Ryan Reynolds when he was like in the Atom Project, or it just feels very familiar when you see it. It's like Ryan Reynolds if he was in Monsters, Inc.
Oh, so this is John Krasinski's new movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Which he has two big ones. So it's from the imagination. They said it from the imagination of John Krasinski. It's like, oh, okay. They really wanted to drive that home. But it's going to do well. But
Sounds interesting. I'm reading the synopsis here. Young girl named B gains the ability to see people's imaginary friends, referred to as IFs for short,
yes.
who have been abandoned by the kids they helped. B then discovers that her neighbor, the man upstairs, has the same ability. All right, sure. I mean, okay. I have not seen a trailer for this. This is the first time I'm hearing about this movie. Honestly.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I saw it in the trailer in the theater.
I'll go see this. If this is an original idea.
It is.
From the mind of John Krasinski.
Yes. So we'll see.
His mind has put out some good things.
Yeah, and he has another Quiet Place coming out too. So that still intrigues me. Next one, Furiosa, Mad Max Saga. You were a little upset of this, right? Of the rebooking of losing Charlize Theron for Anya Taylor-Joy.
I was not a fan of that, but I mean, I guess whatever. If she's going to play a younger version, then that's what it'll be.
What happened? Like, why did that happen? Do you know? Any ideas?
I think they just wanted to go younger.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a shame, but just because Charlize did so well in that.
Yeah.
Right? But at the same time, I also love Anya Taylor-Joy, so I am curious. Chris Hemsworth gets to stretch his chops a little bit too. He's not even recognizable in that. And remind me, was that last Fury Road? Didn't he not have a script or something? Like he was kind of just winging it?
He doesn't write scripts. George Miller doesn't write scripts.
Right, that's what I thought.
Yeah. He doesn't work from a script.
You think it's going to have the same type of vibe?
It looks like it's more CGI driven than the last one.
And a lot of people were upset about that.
I don't know. I mean, I'm fine with it if it works, if it looks okay, I guess. But it definitely doesn't look the same. I don't know. I don't know what this movie's going to be. I definitely like that whole diesel punk universe. Like, I'm a fan of that stuff. It looks almost too stylized for me. Like, I feel like I would like it to be more grounded, but I'll probably see that one.
Yeah, I think you have to see it, and that's Memorial Day.
I'll see that one.
All right. I'm excited. I mean, just see George Miller.
I will watch Mad Max Furiosa. Furiosa Road?
Yeah, that's what it should be, right?
Yeah.
Furiosa Road.
I'll be there.
All right. This one I'm torn on because this was another one. Like, where have I been that I'm missing all these movies that are coming out? I had no idea they were making another Planet of the Apes. And this one's going to be Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Trailer looks good to me. I mean...
And I like the whole premise. I like the idea that the original trilogy and now King of the Planet Apes, which takes place 300 years after the last Planet of the Apes that we just saw.
Yeah.
With Caesar.
It feels to me, I'm going to just call this out now, like this movie is looping back around
Yes.
to the original Planet of the Apes, and this one will end with the spaceship landing.
I'm here for that. If that's what they do, I'm here for it because that's what it feels like to me.
I think that's probably what's going to happen. I'm predicting it now.
And that's pretty, to me, it's just like, I'm a huge mark for, at least I remember watching the first 3 a lot. I didn't watch any of the series, but did you remember on Quentin and Roger's podcast, Video Archives, and they were doing the best of movies, and it was like one of the episodes of Planet of the Apes that they put in there as like one of like a best film.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Like I do remember the animated series and the show, but I distinctly remember Planet of the Apes, Beneath the Planet of the Apes, and Escape from the Planet of the Apes. It started to lose a little bit after, like the thread a little bit after that.
Yeah.
But
Planet of the Apes for me was one of those things where I could not identify one from the other. As a kid, I didn't know what was what.
Yeah.
It was just Planet of the Apes, you know? So it was just one of those things. I never like seeked it out. It's one of those things that was just on and you'd watch.
Yeah.
You know? Whatever Planet of the Apes movie it was or the show.
Yeah, no, they all did start to bleed together after a while. It was just like, is that Roddy McDowell? Is that Roddy McDowell? Is that Roddy McDowell? You kind of felt that a little bit.
Yeah.
But then when they had, Andy Serkis went, his rendition of Caesar's and the whole Ape Together Strong and the way that kind of jumped around. I really loved the first one of just like the birth of it. Like the birth, that's going to turn out that it is the birth of the Planet of the Apes, of like where it all started. So if they tie that all together and if that's where they're going, that's good. And I don't know where the Tim Burton version with Marky Mark sits in this whole timeline. Because now you're like, why did they even do that one at this point?
Yeah.
I would like to, maybe I should go back and watch that. But the other ones, you feel real danger. Like you feel real danger.
Yeah. I mean, the trilogy, what is the Matt Reeves trilogy? Fantastic.
Matt Reeves, yep.
Really good. We'll see. We'll see how this is. You could go either way. I think we need to really get back. My opinion. I think movies are very much defined by the director.
Yeah.
It makes a difference who's directing the movie. And Matt Reeves, he's great, went on to be great, and now they've got kind of a new guy doing it. So let's see what he comes up with, I guess,
It looks like he's keeping the same vibes, but to quote Mario Pena, directors matter.
Yeah.
You said it. Are you good? You want to take a break or you want to keep rolling?
We can take a little break here. Just let me pull up the whatchamahoosit.
All right, because that'll get us right into, we'll be kicking it back off in the summer movie season when we come back right after these messages.
Boy, I'm bored.
Don't be bored. Join the party. Call 1-976-8888. There's a great time waiting for you right now. Meet new friends or just listen in. Everybody's doing it. So call 1-976-8888.
Where was that party?
So, what are you waiting for? Don't be left out on all the fun. Call right now, 1-976-8888. 88 cents per minute billed to your phone. Brought to you by Omegaphone.
Just like you, I was really skeptical about which one of the party lines is really the best. It's 1-976-BEST. It's easier than going to some singles bar. The phone's right there within your reach. And it's a real kick because you get started talking with everyone on the line right away. I got together with this guy I met on the best party line, and I'll tell you, it's fun, exciting, and the best way for you to meet someone new. The best party line. It's just a phone call away.
Do you sometimes sit alone, wishing for the perfect fantasy? Has love passed you by? Do you dream of encounters with a perfect mate? Or spending precious moments getting close to someone you could really love? For just 99 cents per minute, indulge your fantasy. It's live.
Call 1-976-DATE now.
New releases at Rogers Video.
Hi, Video Sam's got exciting news for you. You can now rent a video overnight and hire these great movies from only 99 cents. But the best news is that by purchasing our special package plan, you can have this VCR absolutely free. Ring now, 892-3311 for details of this amazing offer. You could have a video at home tonight. Remember, 892-3311. Video Sam's libraries are convenient to you.
Video player, too. There's a store near you, sweetheart.
Movies tonight on video.
They're helpful and friendly with films for the whole family.
Movies tonight on video. Movies tonight on video.
All right, let's jump into summer proper, because now we're after Memorial Day. I know nothing about the next one, the Ballerina, John Wick spinoff. The Ballerina, she was in the last one, right?
No, I don't think so.
No?
No.
I thought she was. That was what they were leading into with the one daughter.
Whose daughter?
The daughter of the club in, where was it? Where was he? Was it in China? Where the club?
Oh, gotcha.
I don't know. Again, I don't know anything about this, so I can be completely wrong. But same director, do you know?
I don't think so.
No?
I don't know who's directing it.
So the only new, the Donnie spinoffs were the only one I was aware of, so I don't know which one this one is even. So we don't spend a lot of time on it since we don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, I have not seen a trailer for it.
I've seen the trailer. The only trailer that I've seen for a spinoff was the Continental, the show that's on like Peacock, right?
I think it aired. Yeah, it was just like a special, and it aired for one time.
Okay, I haven't watched that yet either.
I mean, yeah, they're just trying to juice the John Wick universe here. Get something out of it. I question the logic of this idea, because I'm just picturing in your head a huge John Wick fan, somebody who adores the John Wick films, and it's like, okay, we've got a pitch. We're gonna do another John Wick spinoff, but this time it's a ballerina.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about it, but it's coming out this summer, and it's just. And even the cast, they're just naming the cast of everyone who's been in John Wick.
John Wilkes Booth universe, yeah, I know.
Oh, who knows, man. Next one, pass. Bad Boys 4.
What's the next one?
Bad Boys 4.
Is anyone going to go watch this?
I don't know.
Are we ready to let Will Smith back in the house?
I don't think so. Oh, maybe it might go by Ballerina. It might be.
It is Ana de Armas.
Okay.
I'm just saying, take people who like John Wick and tell them, here is a new John Wick type movie, but it's got a ballerina instead of a John Wick.
Woke!
What do you think of that idea? Is that going to appeal to the average John Wick fan? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
So I might see it. Sure. I haven't seen a trailer for it. I might watch it. Sure. I don't know. Maybe. But again, it's
yeah, we'll see.
It's more stuff we've seen already.
We'll see, or we won't see. We'll see.
There's also by the way, in February, this movie coming out that looks interesting called Lisa Frankenstein. Have you seen that?
That I'm interested in.
Okay, so that's something that could be good.
Yeah, Diablo.
Why is that not on this list?
I don't know. Diablo Cody, right? I thought
Diablo
that would be
Cody
fun.
And somebody, I forget who the director is. Somebody new and cool.
I feel like Jennifer's Body's getting a lot more love than it did when it originally came out.
Right.
As time goes on. So somebody must have realized, okay, maybe she is good. You know, maybe Juno wasn't a fluke. Let's try this again.
I mean, if you win an Oscar, you're never a fluke. It's just like,
I like the premise.
I think if you win an Oscar, you'll get work for good.
Yeah.
Oh, it's directed by Robin Williams' daughter.
Lisa Frankenstein is?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So that's what was cool about it.
That's the hook.
Yeah.
I saw the trailer and I'm definitely interested.
That's right. Mike already knew.
Yeah, he grabbed it.
So that looks interesting to me. I think I'll go check that out for sure.
I'll see Lisa Frankenstein. I'll see Sally Wolfman. I'll see all of this before I'll see Bad Boys 4.
Or Ballerina probably.
Yeah,
I probably won't see Ballerina. I'm just like saying I'll see it, but I feel like I won't. It's one of those that's going to be hard to get me there.
Yeah, and if Bad Boys 4 doesn't have Tweety and Viking in it, I'm not interested. We already talked about this. I'm not interested.
If Bad Boys 4 doesn't address the whole slapping thing, then what's the point?
Yeah.
Like, the trailer better be Will Smith slapping Martin Lawrence. That should be the first shot of the trailer. And Martin Lawrence is like, why did you do that? And he's like, well, I'm very conflicted about my relationship. And
if they lean into it, then maybe people will be interested. Well, the fact about Bad Boys is Bad Boys has the unusual distinction that it is sitting as the top movie of 2020 because the world shut down in March, and it was the
last movie to come out.
Yeah,
before the world ended.
So it has that distinction. So I think a lot of people are like, if you go back, it just looks like a giant asterisk to me.
I didn't see it. Did you see it?
No, I don't think I saw it.
Yeah,
I don't remember if I saw it or not.
Yeah,
maybe I saw it. I don't know. If I did, I can't remember, and that's very telling.
Didn't see it.
Next one, Inside Out 2. Pixar's joint coming out. They're going to introduce teenage girls' emotions in it. So it'll be Pixar. So I'm sure.
Pixar, though, now is its own genre. It's its own IP. A Pixar movie is a Pixar movie.
Remember original Pixar when they prided themselves on they will never release a sequel, and they would just come out with another original idea, and then the one with the dinosaurs didn't work, so then they did like Toy Story 2 and Toy Story 3, which are turned out to be really great films.
Yeah.
And then they just, now everything they'll drop a sequel on. So I did see Inside Out, and Jack was still, I guess, young enough that we're like, okay, you want to go see an animated movie, but I odds are I'm probably not going to see this. So I don't know. I'm not a huge Pixar mark to see it.
Yeah, they have been failing recently, but that's because they gave them away for free on Disney for a while, and people were just like, well, I'm just going to wait.
Again, it comes back to that, like, it bleeds together with have I seen this at home? Was this a theatrical release? Because, I mean, you can put Up and WALL-E up there as some of the greatest films of all time.
Sure.
Right? And I just don't remember much about it. Yeah, pre-Disney Pixar was pretty dope, so I don't know. But this is not for us anyway, so we'll just keep on moving.
Yeah.
From the imagination of John Krasinski, again, comes A Quiet Place Day 1. I guess we're going to see how it all went down. Did you know this was coming out?
Yeah, I'd heard about this one. It's not John Krasinski directing this one, though.
It's a spinoff, though. Or is it a spinoff? Let's see. It revolves around a father. No, that's just A Quiet Place. It's tended to be a spin-off prequel and the third overall installment, because the second A Quiet Place Part 2 ended on a cliffhanger, right? Or not a cliffhanger, but you didn't know what was going to happen next. It definitely is warranting a sequel. So I guess there's...
To be fair, that's how every movie ends.
That's true.
You don't know what's going to happen next.
That's true. But I feel like they were leaning into it, so... Yeah, Mike has no interest in the Quiet Place universe as well. I mean, it worked really well at the time, that first one.
A Quiet Place Terrifier watch.
Oh, man, because Art has mastered off the Quiet Place with the... That's a scarier Quiet Place.
I would agree. It's just like, why do we need 3 of these? The first one I thought was clever and well done,
Yeah.
And an original idea. But then, okay, it's like, oh, we had an original idea that worked really well. Now let's make 50 of them.
Yeah.
Or 3. I'm exaggerating. 3, but 3 is too many. It's just like, okay, let's move on.
Just stop. Yeah. So I don't know. I guess the first trailer, when you see it in the theater, I'll have to see. Are you interested in how the whole thing went about? Because I guess
didn't we see that in the
flashbacks, right?
Right.
Well,
we
you saw it when
that.
it went down, so
yeah,
very possible.
And plus, this is a whole new group of people. I don't know. I mean, I guess, do people have interest in this universe? Are people fans of this? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. A couple of Bird Boxes, yeah, and Bird Box tried to jump on that too, but instead of ears, let's do eyes. Okay, I'm in.
Yeah,
do one with nose, and we'll talk.
The Netflix algorithm just scooped that up.
This next one, which is the big 4th of July movie, again, and this, to me, that's very evident of the strike, because this shouldn't be the biggest movie on 4th of July, but it's going to be, and this is similar to Kung Fu Panda's Despicable Me 4. Like, how many of these movies has there been?
I think the last one made $1 billion, so they're not going to stop.
But that was because it went viral, right? When everyone, but that was just actually called Minions. Right, that wasn't.
But the Despicable Me is where the Minions come from.
Right.
So I think you got Despicable Me and the Minions in this one.
Yeah.
People love those Minions.
Oh man, there was a lot of Minion Christmas stuff. I saw a ton of Minion at Christmas inflatables.
Yeah.
I saw a house that had about 20 of them, and they were hanging them from the roof. And Minions are, I mean they're $1 billion franchise. So. But I don't know, 7 or 8 between Despicable Me and then Minions. I don't know where this falls, but again, this probably is not made for us. But they're everywhere. Man, who do you think came up with Minions? Like the actual character, like how they probably say you deserve a raise.
Can I ask you a question? Why? I don't know, but I'd like to ask them this. How come some Minions have 2 eyes and some have 1?
Yeah, I don't know. That's what's intriguing about them, right? I mean, theme parks, how much money do you think Minions has pulled in? So for me, it's just like, okay, it's not a 4th of July movie, and the bank is going to say,
so there's nothing else coming out in July that's interesting?
Well, for that 4th of July, other than the first weekend in May, the 4th of July movie is always the biggest movie. And I don't know if anything else is dropping besides Despicable Me.
You skipped over The Fall Guy.
Oh, The Fall Guy is coming out.
The Fall Guy is happening.
Is that the 4th of July movie?
That is in May.
Oh, that's in May.
Yeah.
Why is that not on this list? Oh, it's not on this image, but yeah, that's another.
Which is also a remake of an old TV show.
Yeah. That's tough because I love the original show.
It's almost, you have to give it credit for doing it, because this is only the first time they've done this. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, okay, well, this is kind of cool. The Fall Guy as a movie. Ryan Gosling is good. Might see it. I don't know. I do like Ryan Gosling.
You think it's going to be a little bit of an homage to the original show, or you think it's just based on the show? Because I didn't get the vibe that.
No, I think it just has the title.
That's it. Because it wasn't. Emily Blunt is not playing the Heather Thomas character, right?
I don't
think so. Because and then he had a sidekick, and it didn't seem like there was a sidekick in there. So I don't know. The show was great, and I feel like they could have done something. But does Denzel have anything to do with the original Equalizer TV show?
No.
Right?
No.
They just actually take the premise and remake it. So
yeah. Well, the first Equalizer was really great and was, a really good remake of the show. I thought it was like origin story, but the sequels kind of spun. I do like the sequels, but it spins it off into just outlandish territory.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the first Equalizer is probably one of my favorite movies of all time.
Oh man, it's up there, huh?
I mean, have you seen it?
No, I haven't seen any of the Equalizers.
Okay, so look, the first Equalizer is fantastic. It's great. Denzel, guy works at Home Depot. Nobody knows he used to be a super spy, but now he just works at Home Depot, lives a quiet life alone, and through helping, he just helps people. You know what I mean? Realizes guy at work, his family's got a restaurant, and they're getting like scammed by these crooked cops and getting hit up for money by them. So he takes out the cops. He fixes problems. It's such a great idea. And then at the very end of the movie, he places that ad from the original Equalizer show.
Oh,
It's
wow.
like, need
That
help?
sounds-
Odds against you? Maybe I can help. And he puts an email address, and it's like that's like the Equalizer kickoff.
Wow.
It was so awesome.
That's great.
Yeah.
So because there's the whole school of thought when people argue, like, why only remake stuff that didn't do well? But the way you're pitching that, now I feel like I do want to see. It's just like, what if you can grab something that did well, but put a different type of spin on it, and it becomes a theatrical, bigger universe? Does that work? And that sounds like it does, because hasn't there been 3 Equalizer movies?
Yes, but the subsequent 2 just get into outlandish territory. He's like a super spy and wearing disguises.
No.
It was really just, the first one was so great because he's just fighting crime in his neighborhood. You know what I mean?
So like it was like the first Death Wish becoming the later Death Wishes, like comparing that.
Yeah,
as
without
time-
all the
as-
fascism.
as time goes on.
Yeah, it's really, you should watch the first Equalizer. Make time for that one.
That sounds great.
That
sounds a great premise.
I've seen it 1,000 times.
All right, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Another one that I didn't know was dropping, Twisters with an S.
Yeah.
And like you said, the S is for money.
Who's in it?
No clue. I didn't even know this was happening. I thought they pulled the ride down.
Is it Jan de Bont directing?
Let's see. Glenn Powell. It's an update of the it's a remake. It's not a no. Director is Lee Isaac Chung. It is produced by Frank Marshall, but it sounds like it's just they're redoing the old one. So they're gonna have multiple cows, not just one cow. Oh, David Cornsway, isn't that the guy playing Superman?
That is.
He's gonna be in that too.
I must have shot that a while ago.
Yeah.
Okay, fine, I guess. I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about Twisters. I did like the original Twister, but there's no Bill Paxton, no Helen Hunt.
Yeah. The Variety said it's definitely not a Twister reboot or a continuation.
Yeah.
It's its own thing.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know.
I won't be there.
No. What about
When it hits Peacock, I will definitely watch it.
Yeah, that definitely. It feels like a Peacock movie.
Yeah.
Then we get to the end of July, which is the movie that was supposed to drop in the first weekend of May, and it was supposed to kick off the summer movie, and it's going to be Marvel's only drop this year in 2024, Deadpool 3. What are you thinking?
About Deadpool 3?
Yeah. Are they? And they might just be calling it Deadpool. I don't know if it's actually going to be called Deadpool 3, because it's kind of like relaunching, and this is the first movie that's an official launch of a Fox character, a Fox mutant getting its own movie under the Marvel banner.
I think this movie is gonna do well.
Oh, it's gonna do, yeah.
I think it could be interesting to watch. I'll probably watch Deadpool, but is this really a superhero movie? This is more of a superhero parody.
Well,
this is gonna lampoon the Marvel universe. It's not gonna be. I mean, it's gonna be for a shoot, but it's not. It's gonna be a comedy Marvel movie, right?
Yeah, I feel like it, but also the rumor is that this is going to be how they're going to say goodbye to all the Fox X-Men characters that they're not going to be keeping. And you didn't go see the last. You didn't see the Marvels, right? So you didn't see the post-credit scene that they had.
No, but I saw it. You know,
so yeah,
people are kindly posted online off their phones.
And so you saw Beast was in there.
Yeah.
So that's the rumor. Is this is going to be a little bit of a take on Dead Man Kills the X-Men, and he's going to go through and like, well, Fox is dead, so I'm going to go through and we're going to just get rid of all these characters so they can relaunch the mutant universe. But it's right. This to me, this has the superhero movie fatigue is real. There's no doubt about it. But like Guardians of the Galaxy, this one is going to have diplomatic immunity, and I think it's going to do bonkers box office because you're going to have, it's Ryan Reynolds. It's the first time you have him in the MCU. They got Hugh Jackman to come back. You know they're going to have tons of winks and nods and cameos. The leaked footage had the 20th Century Fox logo upside down and broken in half. So like you said, it's going to be somewhat of a parody. So I think it's going to be able to exist outside of what the fatigue is, like you said, and people are just going to go enjoy it for what it is, even if he does continue on as a character in that universe.
Yeah, I mean,
yellow spandex too. Yes, you're getting Wolverine and yellow spandex, which everybody's been waiting for.
Now, here's the thing. This is the thing that can be tricky for Marvel. If this is going to make fun of superhero movies, right?
Yeah.
You see that.
Yo,
we know this is going to happen.
Yeah.
So is that going to help or help negate or only further drive superhero movie fatigue? If you're making fun, if they're going to make fun of themselves this whole time, and their next movie is going to come out and it's be Captain America 4 or something, it's like, yeah, but for real, we're awesome.
Yeah, I know. I see what you're saying. You definitely run the risk here, right? Because now you're like, okay, if you're making fun of what it used to, kind of like after Scream came out, you couldn't make the same type of horror movie anymore, right? This is going to be the superhero version of that. You're going to have to change the game a little bit.
Yeah, that's
a big risk, and so they're going to get a lot of money. But what happens after that is going to tell a tale, and we won't know because there won't be another movie because they're currently in surgery trying to repair themselves. They're back at the lab.
Yeah.
Trying to fix all that.
They're better off that way.
Yeah.
It's okay. Got to be gone for a bit.
The next couple we can blaze through. I don't know anything about Borderlands at all.
That's a game.
It's a video game, right?
Directed by Eli Roth.
Eli Roth is doing Borderlands?
He directed it.
Oh, I did not know that.
I don't know if they let him edit it. I heard they kicked him out of the editing, but...
Oh, really? Kevin Hart is in it. Jamie Lee Curtis.
I don't really know about the game. I guess maybe fans of the game. Video game movies have been doing well, so maybe that'll be it.
Yeah, like the Tom Holland, Mark Wahlberg. That was a video game movie, and that did pretty well.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Super
Mario Brothers, biggest movie of the year.
Yeah, so you're going to get people that enjoyed, now you're getting that, like, the group of, like, okay, now you're making the IPs that I grew up with, so that next gen. So you might get them. You might get the gamer. Are you going to get the gamers there? I mean, that's a big industry. I mean, it's a bigger industry than film and TV, right? Money wise.
It worked for Five Nights at Freddy's. I can't see why it couldn't happen again. But there's definitely a market now for the video game movies. People want to see that.
There's the one video game movie, that Twisted Metal, with Samoa Joe on Peacock, and I have not watched it yet. And it's got Anthony Mackie in it as well.
I haven't watched it either. Yeah.
So. We'll see. I don't know. And that's we're getting to the end of the summer right at that point. Another one that I had no idea. What is Alien Romulus?
That's another Alien.
Now that Disney owns that, because that's a Fox property, right? So
yeah. This is the first Disney Aliens.
Disney Alien. So wait, does that make the Queen a Disney princess?
It does. It does. I think this has been discussed. Yeah. So it's the new Aliens. It's supposed to take place somewhere in the storyline, I think between the first two Alien movies.
Okay.
I think that's the idea. So it's like a sequel boot. Fede Alvarez directing.
Oh, he did the remake of
Evil Dead.
Evil Dead, yeah.
Right. He's directing. I don't know. Could be good, I guess. Alien 7.
They're making it feel like a standalone installment. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I mean...
Oh, yep. Step between the events of Alien and Aliens.
I'm not sure how they can do that when there's like 7 other of them. But, I mean... another Aliens, I guess. I mean, sure. I mean, I don't know.
Danny McBride was in the last one, right? And no more sticking comedians in there if they're going to try to be funny. On purpose.
Yeah.
No more. I don't want it. I need to feel the danger. I need real danger.
Yeah.
And
I think Danny McBride was a good cast, but they let him do whatever he wanted. They let him be funny.
Yeah, you can't.
I do buy him as a space truck driver.
Yeah, that's true. He is a space truck driver.
I mean, that's essentially what Alien was, the first one. They were space truckers.
You're right, space truckers.
That's not like my theory. That's just like that's how facts. I think that's how Dan O'Bannon pitched it. Space truckers.
I'd go see that movie
for sure.
Yeah. I think this is gonna fall under Madam Web. What was your quote? Count on me not being there. Craven the Hunter. Right? Craven the Hunter.
I have no desire to see that. I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, that's another.
I mean, I do know what it is. It's like a Superman villain, not Superman,
Spider-Man villain. Yeah, Sony's got two Spider-Verse movies coming out next year.
Yeah,
Madam Web and Craven. So I don't know if they're going to continue to try to just like forge ahead. Well, actually, I take that back. They got 3 because Venom 3 is dropping too. So,
and apparently, isn't Spider-Man going to be in Venom 3?
They better put him in there soon.
If there's not a Spider-Man in Venom 3, then what's the point?
But I think they're still debating on who's Sony's Spider-Man.
It doesn't even matter.
Right?
Put whoever.
Put any of the Spider-Man because that last one worked so well.
Yeah, it does not matter who Spider-Man. Just put Spider-Man
Put a Spider-Man in there.
It could be anybody in the world.
Yes. Just put a Spider-Man.
It doesn't like they could just pick somebody brand new. It just shows up.
Can you imagine? I think that would get more reaction than booking one of the 3 Spider-Men. You just like book some rando that's in there. It's like, I'm Spider-Man. Like, are you sure?
Yeah.
It's like, no, I am. I really am.
Just save it for like the reveal at the end of the movie. Like you have Spider-Man throughout the movie and he never takes off his mask.
Spider-Ham.
So Venom doesn't know who this Spider-Man actually is.
I love that idea.
Then at the end, he just pulls off its mask and it's just whoever you picked last minute. Whoever you booked last minute.
You want people to talk about your film, that's the shit you got to book right
Exactly.
there. Just like, which Spider-Man was that supposed to be? You'll get internet chatter like you've never believed.
Right. Just don't reveal who Spider-Man is.
I think that's a genius.
That's a draw.
They're watching this show. You better take notes, pal. Take notes.
Take notes, Sony.
The next one, I got to admit, out of all the IPs that we've gone over, this is the one that I am looking forward to. Beetlejuice 2. I don't know. It's got Michael Keaton. It's got Tim Burton. They're bringing back Winona Ryder. I don't know. I think they got Wednesday Addams. The new hot girl that's going to be in there too. So you're going to get the new audience, the old audience. Are you looking forward to Beetlejuice 2?
I mean, I'm not looking forward to it, but I mean, it's interesting. I'll check out Beetlejuice 2. It's going to be cool to see if it's Tim Burton can flex his muscles again. He's kind of been on autopilot for a while.
Yeah.
Tim Burton doing a Tim Burton movie could be good. Could be good. I think Jenna Ortega is a great casting as far as who to follow in Lydia Dietz's footsteps there.
Right.
Great casting.
Yeah, it's a perfect torch passing. And she did, Tim Burton, well, I know he directed a couple of the Wednesday episodes, but that vibe, he just worked so well with Jenna Ortega, and I feel like he's gonna put his chocolate and peanut butter together, and I think we're gonna get the best of both worlds.
Yeah. Beetlejuice is when did Beetlejuice come out? Like 88?
Yeah, 88.
I mean, that's a stretch.
That's a long time.
Jenna Ortega's fans were not even born. They haven't seen Beetlejuice.
No. I think they need to do a theatrical re-release. And for so long, they talk about there's no way we're going to do it. And then when Michael Keaton started getting hot again, then it started churning like we can do it. But it wasn't hot enough for him to go. But then the Jenna Ortega link put it over the top.
Yeah. Mike says it better be good. It needs to be good. It would better be good.
Yeah. Yeah, it needs to be great. I saw Beetlejuice in the theater 5 times.
I saw it a lot of times. Yeah. That was one of those dollar theater movies.
Yeah, it was a dollar theater special for sure. I remember let's just go see Beetlejuice again.
Yeah. Someone posted on Twitter the other day, and I thought it was hilarious, that they should reopen, or cities need to fund dollar theaters to keep them open. That they should be like a city public service.
They should, the library, right? Yeah. Who supports the library? The same people support the library.
Yeah.
Need to support dollar theaters.
Yes.
I showed Mike a picture of the dollar theater that was up in Round Rock. Yeah. They finally, I showed you those pictures too.
No, I remember going to that dollar theater.
Yeah, it's gone now. They finally tore it down.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're doing with it. They're creating something that's a not dollar theater.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I lost. Here it is. Okay. Next one passed. Transformers 1. I haven't watched a Transformer in forever.
What does it mean, Transformers 1? Mm-hmm. Oh, wait. This is a cartoon, right?
Is it?
I think this is a cartoon.
The only Transformers...
There's no way there's another Transformers movie coming out. They just had one.
I don't know. They all bleed together.
They take like years to make, I think.
I wanted to see the one with John Cena, but that was the spinoff, right, of Beetle?
Yeah.
But I did not see it. But I wanted to. But I almost didn't, and I just didn't.
That's, yeah.
So, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. It's a September.
I think this is the one where Chris Helmsworth is going to play Optimus Prime.
Oh, okay.
And it's an origin story. It's all on Cybertron before they landed on Earth.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know where they all happened too fast and I lost track.
More Transformers. More
Transformers.
So get ready for more Transformers.
October, the drop we never thought was going to happen, and then we found out it was going to. Joker, Fale Edu, the sequel to the Joaquin Phoenix, getting Lady Gaga. So no, officially, Margot Robbie is kind of passing the torch, even though this is falling under Elseworlds. And I read somewhere that James Gunn said it's coming out so fast, it's not even going to have the new DCU Elseworlds branding. It's just going to be its own thing. It's going to be hard to top that first one that just got so much buzz, even though it was like super dark. But this one is going to be a musical. I feel like this one has potential to be really bad.
Were you a fan of the first Joker?
I liked it. Yeah, no. I enjoyed it. I mean, I didn't hate it, but it is definitely one of those movies that it could take you to dark places. Even though it was I know it was a take on a little bit of Taxi Driver and a little bit, what was it, the King of Comedy?
Yeah.
But I liked the feel of it. But yeah, I did enjoy it. You didn't like the first one?
It didn't really work for me. No. Yeah. It just felt to me like Todd Phillips was doing an impression of a Scorsese movie.
Yes. Yeah, I can totally see that.
And it didn't draw me in.
And now he's going to have to go in a completely different direction, right? So how's this going to and as a musical?
Sure. I mean, I do like Lady Gaga in films. I think she's really good.
Yeah, she's really good. I think
she's a great choice for Harley Quinn.
If you were you're gonna add singing to a movie, I guess it makes sense to add Lady Gaga in there.
Oh, again, here's movie multiverse again. Let's dive back into this one. Did you know there was originally going to be a Harley Quinn cameo in Batman Forever?
No, I did not know that.
It was going to end with a Harley... No, not that one. It might have been Batman Returns. One of them was going to have a Harley Quinn cameo.
Really?
Yeah.
And I guess that makes sense because when those were dropping, that's when she was really heating up in the comics.
And the Harley Quinn was going to be, if they booked it the way they wanted to, was Madonna.
Oh, wow. That would have been good booking back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Movie multiverse. There's another one. I got to mark these for shorts. That is going to be good. Movie multiverse. Can you
imagine, in the early 90s, we get a Harley Quinn, the Madonna Harley Quinn?
That would be nuts.
That would be crazy.
Yeah. Although, I guess they can't do that anymore. She looks a little different.
Yeah.
Mike says you wish you went with the Cape Fear direction with this somehow, waiting for the new Cape Fear. Cape Fear was great.
Cape Fear's solid.
Yeah. And that was a remake, too, that just really worked. I think a lot of people forget even the original, right? And then the Cape Fear episodes of The Simpsons were also great.
Yeah.
Check those out. Then we got Venom 3. I don't even want to talk about it. For whatever. Venom 3. Fine. Just try again. Keep trying.
Yeah.
There's going to be no... So they probably like, there's going to be no Marvel movies coming out, so let's just drop our universe. And like you said... They're just doing it to do it.
Spider-Man adjacent.
If they're going to try to create it. If they don't now...
Why don't they just do another Spider-Man? Don't they own it?
I don't know.
I understand we have Tom Holland going, but can't they just do any other Spider-Man? Anybody.
All I know is now you've kind of set this bar way too high. And if there's not a Spider-Man reveal of a random character, I don't even care anymore. I don't even want to see it. If it doesn't happen, I don't even want to see it anymore. But yeah, I don't know why. I know he's contracted to another team-up movie and one more Marvel/Sony Spider-Man. So who knows? This one has been rumored.
Is this list making you happy? Do you feel good?
No, it doesn't.
Is this hyping you up for the year in film?
It's an oscillation for me. It's making me do this, But it's more questions like can it get excited about Deadpool and Beetlejuice and then get completely confused with 3 Spider-Verse movies and then other movies that I didn't even know they were coming out. So it's up and down.
Yeah,
it's up and down, and odds are I'm going to see most of these movies because we're alpha goers. We go to see, and even if it's bad, we just dust it off and we keep moving. Some people just get so offended by it. Yeah. I still tell people this story. It was just one of the best film movie experiences I had was going to see a movie with you, and you told me you went. So yeah, I saw it. You were like 20 minutes and it's like, oh, I get it. I see what you're doing. And then you left.
Yeah.
You left. You're like, I get it. Like, you got it. It's just like you found the hack and you somehow speed run it in 20 minutes. You're like, oh, I see what you're doing. Good job. And then you left.
It was enough.
That was great. I feel like if Larry David was trying to find another idea for Curb Your Enthusiasm for ideas, like, oh, I get it. And then he just left. Where are you going? I was like, I get it. I already got it. I figured it out. But yeah, so we're not going to take it personal if we see these movies and they don't work. Yeah. We're not going to just say you ruined my childhood. It's just going to be a little disappointed, and we're just going to march on. But that brings us to Gladiator 2. They've been talking about making a second Gladiator for how long?
I had no idea anybody was interested in that.
There was multiple swings of people trying to do another Gladiator, but now they got Pedro Pascal in there.
That's a good idea.
So they're like, okay, we can do this.
Yeah, I don't think we need another Gladiator. I heard Denzel's in it, right?
Yeah, Denzel's in it too.
So maybe, I guess. I guess.
Remember Pedro Pascal in Game of Thrones was really good.
Yeah, that's fine. He's good. He's a great actor. I like him in stuff. I like watching him in stuff. Yeah, okay, sure. Gladiator 2, whatever.
The passing of the torch.
It just feels like, like Airplane 2 when you're in the gift shop and they get the posters for
the Rocky.
Rockies. Yeah, whatever.
That was so good. That always sticks in my head too.
It's just there's so many sequels, sequels to everything.
Yeah. And not all and for a while there, they got it to a point where sequels were working better than the first ones. Like some people liked the second Terminator better than the first one. Some people liked the better Aliens better than the first one.
Yeah, but not since then.
No, I don't think I don't know if anyone.
There was a time when the sequels were better. You like the two you just named, yeah, and like Rocky 2,
yeah,
Godfather 2. But
I don't think any of these movies are in danger of being better than the first.
No, I don't think. Yeah,
I don't even know what this next one is. It's another Lord of the Rings, the War of Rohirrim?
Oh yeah, another Lord of the Rings movie spin-off of I don't know what, like part of the book.
Yeah,
I don't even know. We should have researched these titles.
Yeah, I don't know. There were some of them that kind of snuck in there.
I'd have to go back. Did nobody tell Warner Brothers that they should have gone with Beetlejuice Deuce?
That's right. We made a short of that too.
How did that not get to them? Well, anyway, more Lord of the Rings.
But the thing about the Lord of the Rings is, wasn't the Lord of the Rings series that was on Prime like the most expensive show ever, and it was pretty mid, right?
Yeah.
Like we limped to the end just to see what happened, but it's not like anyone was blown away by it. So and even The Hobbit, did you go to the theaters to see The Hobbit? I know it was supposed to be Guillermo del Toro, and then he pulled out, and then Peter Jackson did it.
I did not see any of the Hobbit movies.
No?
No.
You didn't even go see the one with the high frame rate?
I poked my head into the theater to see what it looked like, and I was like, this looks like I'm looking through a Viewmaster.
Oh, man, it was tough.
Yeah.
There was a couple of them that it was just it was very...
Well...
it was very unsettling in scenes.
It's really sad what happened to that, because Guillermo del Toro prepped that movie for years.
Yeah.
And I can only imagine what a Guillermo del Toro
Lord of the Hobbit. Man,
what it was going to look like, because he was not going to do. He was not just going to copy Peter Jackson's style. He was doing his own thing.
Yeah,
and it was so weird. When Guillermo had to leave the project because of strikes and stuff like that. or like the rights were up in the air or something like that. Peter Jackson just scrapped it all and just reworked it in like 3 weeks and started shooting.
Yeah. That sucks. Because that could have really been special.
Guillermo del Toro's The Hobbit would have been amazing.
Yeah, that would have made way more money.
Instead,
too.
we got whatever reheated.
I had to go see it because, like we talked about this, and when the director says, "I want you to see it," I have this idea of how you should view it, whether it's a bigger screen or different sound. I didn't even know what HFR meant, but I seeked it out.
Yeah.
And you're right. It was like a mix between a ViewMaster, but then somebody accidentally hit fast forward. And then I was like, wait, is this like a History Channel documentary? Like, what am I watching?
Yeah.
It took me out of the moment more than it put me in the moment.
I don't understand there was a couple of movies that shot on that, and I didn't understand why. I guess if you were doing like a nature documentary.
Yeah, that's what okay.
Microwave Hobbits, yeah.
Microwave Hobbits. It was a little unsettling, so.
Things kind of pick up in October, though, just so you know.
Yeah, there's got to be more. I feel like October we missed some stuff.
We got an untitled Monkey Paw movie.
Monkey Paw?
That's Jordan Peele's company.
Oh, yeah, and I read he's saying that this is his favorite movie that he's done.
No, this is not that movie.
No?
This is his a Monkey Paw movie, like his company putting out a movie.
Okay. Not
he doesn't have a movie coming out this year.
Okay.
It got punted because of the
pushed.
strikes. Yeah. But we get untitled Monkey Paw movie. We get Saw 11 for fans of Saw 1 through 10.
You get 11. I did. So there was nothing. There was hardly anything out. I remember going to see Saw 10 in theater because there wasn't much out, and then I was just confused that they turned him into a baby face, like full on.
I mean, I think it is a nice swerve. Honestly, I think it's kind of a good idea.
Now
to do that.
Now he's the equalizer. Having
Yes.
trouble with cartels in Mexico? Call me. I might be able to help. I got traps.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I didn't see Saw 10. I did like kind of read the breakdown or whatever.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Yeah, I may watch it when it's free on one of the streamers, but it didn't get me into the theater. But they turn in babyface. I think it's kind of smart.
Yeah, they had to do something different.
Yeah.
I mean,
so we'll see. But we're going to get.
Is that the big horror movie for October?
No, that's pre-October. In October, we've got Smile 2.
Smile 2. That's not on the logo here.
Which I wasn't a huge fan of Smile. But
the trailers were magical.
Whatever. I get it. I get why that worked and why people dug it. It's it's there. I understand.
Yep.
We get The Wolfman.
Oh, okay.
Blumhouse's Wolfman.
All right. Yeah, I'm here for that.
And we get the most anticipated, I'm saying it right now, the most anticipated film of 2024. Yours too. Terrifier 3.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I was like, what is the big movie? That's going to be the big movie. That's the one. I think that's the breakthrough, right? That's going to be the breakthrough movie that people are going to go back and start watching.
I imagine he's going to get some celebrity cameos for this one. He's pretty over now,
Yeah.
And that trailer that he put out, which some people were disappointed because it was just one of those trailers just made for the trailer, no footage kind of a thing,
Right.
But it upset the internet enough just via that.
And that was good. I was happy that they just shot an original trailer.
Yeah, that's cool. That works for me.
I was totally fine with that.
That works for me. But I mean, I can't think. There's nothing else that I'm looking forward to as much as Terrifier 3. I hope that I don't build up my expectations, and just like end up disappointed. But I don't know, man. I'm really into this kid, Damien Leone. I think that he's a talent for real. And I don't think he's fully cooked yet. And maybe this might be the one where it's like we get the fully cooked one.
Yeah. No, I can see that because you saw a stark change between his shorts and then Terrifier 1 and then Terrifier 2. Like you saw an evolution of his filmmaking on how it went, like what he was capable of doing. Like you said, his first shorts, when you saw them, you feel like, oh yeah, we could have done that.
Yeah.
Like, why didn't we do that?
It's very much something like that,
And then 1 was just like, okay, now he got somebody gave him a little bit of money and he did a little bit of more. And then 2 felt like a bigger deal.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine what 3 is going to feel like. And right, that was when you were at Fantastic Fest, the buzz that you were saying that was going on with that in the bar, and you didn't even know what it was.
Yeah.
And people were all buzzing, and then I read, Darcy talking about how this is going to be the next big thing, and that's a pretty big stamp of approval because that's Darcy the mail girl, man.
Yeah.
She gave it the stamp.
I mean, yeah, she's the queen of horror now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bummer. I regret not seeing it, but I didn't know what Terrifier was. I hadn't seen the first one. Had you seen? You did not see the first one. So you just watched it recently.
No, I just kind of.
Mike was the only one who knew about Art the Clown.
Yeah, Mike did.
I had not seen it, and it's just like, and then I did kind of scan Terrifier 1. I watched it on like Tubi or something. And the first time I watched it, it was kind of just playing in the background, and I just didn't get into it. Maybe it was just the thing. Just the time I watched it, but of course that one scene.
Oh yeah, that was something else.
Which like that'll put a person in an institution. Anyway, and then 2 just leveled up so much, and he's trying to add this like lore and backstory.
They added a lot of lore.
Maybe too much. Maybe overcorrected a bit. Right?
Possibly. But I feel like the story's still going, so we don't even know what the whole story is. So now, these sequels feel like they legit are continuing the story.
And can you imagine, but it still has that low budget kind of look to it a little bit.
It's always going to be grimy. I think
no
matter how much budget it has, it's going to be grimy.
Now he's got like a moderate budget. I mean, it's still super low by Hollywood standards, but by indie film standards, not bad.
Yeah.
I think it's like $3 million or something like that.
Oh man.
And he's going to get some celebrity cameos in there.
That's going to make a big deal. People that are going to jump in there.
If Pete Davidson is in it and dies in the first scene.
Oh, he has to be in it. Yeah.
You never know.
He has to be in it.
Something like that. So anyway, I'm really looking forward to that.
And the thing that got me hooked, I mean, Mike was talking about it, and it was always intriguing the way Mike pitched it about, him licking a plate at Denny's. And then you were talking about the most gruesome thing you've ever seen, that the toughest kill you've ever seen on there. But I just got pulled on when they showed it on Joe Bob, and that end credit where he was staring at me specifically in that end credit thing. I was just like, this is creepy as hell. But I was like, okay, I'm in. And put Art the Clown on Jimmy Kimmel.
For real.
I think they still play to this day. You can look on YouTube and you see Jason Voorhees on Arsenio Hall. If you get him on Kimmel just as a shoot, right? Just to go in there and just play his character, kayfabe Jimmy Kimmel, yeah. I think that would be badass. That's all they need to do. That is that's the big horror movie. That'll be a multiple viewing in theaters for sure. Because the last 3 movies that we didn't talk about.
We're getting an Incredibles 3.
Is there really?
This is on the calendar I'm looking at. Oh yeah, the guy who plays Art the Clown did play the Grinch in what's it called, The Mean One? I didn't see that one. It's like a Grinch horror movie.
Oh yeah, I didn't watch it. You should have watched that. I was curious about it.
It says we're getting an Incredibles 3 next year. I don't know about that.
I mean, both Incredibles were incredible.
We're getting Lion King 2.
We're still fighting the algorithm of those Incredibles versus the Incredibles. So will that help us or hurt us?
I don't know. We should change the name of the channel to Incredibles 3.
See what happens. Lion King 3 Mufasa.
Lion King, Mufasa the Lion King. So I don't know. I guess we're going to get James Earl Jones's AI voice or something?
Oh, yeah. Disney owns his voice. Oh, wow. So he sold it for Darth Vader and for Lion King, huh?
I mean, unless they just swerved him.
It's like, yeah, I swear. Just say, may the force be with you.
We got another Sonic the Hedgehog
video game. That one, Jim Carrey says he only wants to make Sonic the Hedgehog movies for the rest of his career. He says he regrets so many of the films he made now, and he said he's having the most fun being the heel in Sonic the Hedgehog.
Okay, fine. Whatever.
Just do what you got to do.
It's none of my business.
None of my business. The one that is intriguing to me is, remember when that announcement came out, you sent it to me, was the Karate Kid film that got announced that is going to be somehow both universes, because they had Jackie Chan and they had Ralph Macchio, but we're coming off the heels of Cobra Kai's final season, which I read is going to be its biggest season, where it's only 10 episodes, but each one is going to be movie length, especially that last one.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, it's just like,
okay,
wait, but what is this? Is this going to tie into this somehow, or is it going to be separate? and they said that no, it's going to be separate, but they are kind of helping. So I'm interested. When they brought back Rocky, older Rocky, right? Remember that one that came out, 2008, 2009?
Rocky Balboa? Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Sure, it was a good movie.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed when they came out with the Last Blood instead of First Blood, right? When he was just fighting people in a cave. I don't know. So if they're going to kind of go in that direction and somehow play homage to Pat Morita, but Jackie Chan was a good part of the Will Smith's kids, Karate Kid. He was a good part of that. I did enjoy the way he played his Miyagi. So I don't know what's going to be, but I'm curious. How are you feeling about it?
I didn't see the Jaden Smith Karate Kid movie.
You didn't see it?
No.
It wasn't bad. It was definitely a reimagining. It had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
It was a different angle on it, right? They were actually in Okinawa. It wasn't in the U.S. The finishing move, the kids were a little bit too young for me.
Yeah.
I hate even saying those words. They were just like it. It was like what we were talking about: young Ghostbusters, young Avengers. This was the young Karate Kid.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess the same age Ralph Macchio was in the first one, right?
Yeah, but yeah, exactly. He would. Well, no,
except
they felt
Ralph
young.
Macchio was perpetually always 30.
Yeah, he was always 30.
He just looked super young.
Yeah, but I don't know. I didn't mind the high school. Although all 80s kids in high school look like adults then, right? They look like 30-year-old high schoolers. But I don't know. This felt like middle school Karate Kid, and again, it takes away the danger because I feel like Seinfeld's like, why don't you just wring their neck?
I mean, I hope I don't know what to expect. Like, I would have been fine with just a Cobra Kai movie. Why not that? But like, and why wouldn't that just be I don't know. Anyway,
I would have been great if it's just like, okay, the last one is going to be a film, and you got to go to theaters
Cobra
to see
Kai,
it.
yeah, and then you can bring in whatever. But I guess for me, the idea of blending the two, I'm just like, well, why? I don't want the remake as part of my reboot. I'm enjoying this just fine. I don't need the other one in there.
They're going to put a reboot in, like Mike said. We know you love reboots, so how about we reboot in your reboot?
Yeah. So I guess, are they expecting to capitalize on more audience that way? I guess. Sure. Cobra Kai season 6 or whatever. I'm down for that. This movie, I'm gonna have to wait and see.
Wait and see. Yeah. I'm just a huge mark for Jackie Chan, and if they have anything to do with bringing back any of the characters from the Karate Kid universe, I hope they do. But if it's a reboot of the reboot, that's going to be questionable. And if they didn't pretend everything we just experienced didn't happen, I hate when they do that.
Yeah.
No, everything you just watched, forget it.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to do that.
I mean, I would like to see Johnny and Jackie Chan having seen together. That would be funny.
Yeah, exactly. Somehow if they find a way to merge those universes, but I don't know if they're going to do that. And that does make me a little bit nervous.
Yeah, I don't know. It sounds like a weird mix to me, but whatever.
Is that a pet peeve for you too, not just me? This whole thing that's coming out, they're like, all these other movies that happened? Forget it. We're Halloween 2, forget it. The Exorcist 3, forget it. And I don't like that. I need the continuity to still be there. So you're telling me I wasted my time? Why did they do that? It feels unnecessary is what bothers me.
Yeah, but I mean, that's kind of the style now where they do that.
Yeah, but it just...
Sequel boots.
It just feels annoying. I'm fine with the way they did it with Scream, where they're like, we acknowledge that these are one that happened, but we're going to jump so far ahead that the ones later don't matter as much.
Yeah.
Fine. But to tell me they don't matter at all, that's bothersome.
Yeah.
So then we can get Martin Kove and Jackie Chan, rather than just saying we wasted our time for the past 6 seasons of Cobra Kai.
I don't think they can. I don't think they could ignore Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai is just only going to help elevate them.
Yeah, it's going to it's going to raise it up.
I just thought it was a strange announcement, but whatever. Maybe I'll probably go, I guess.
Well,
I have the membership to like 3 movie theaters cards, so it's just like, I'm gonna go.
You got nothing to
see something, but
that's all that's on the Geek Facts. But did we miss? I know you were inserting some that we missed. Did we miss? What's going to be? None of these feel like the big movie of Christmas 2024.
We're getting Wicked, the famous play.
That's it.
It's going to be a thing. Wicked Part 1. So I guess they're stretching that one out.
Oh, they're definitely. They didn't. We talked about this earlier. The first Omen. the Omen prequel, that's coming up very soon.
We're getting. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, that one's coming out very soon, and that's a little. That's a tough one because The Exorcist that came out from David Gordon Green was not good.
Yeah.
That was not good.
Yeah.
It should have been way better. That the bar was way too high.
Yeah.
And he didn't even come close.
I just don't. Exorcist is another one that you just can't capture that magic again. It was a specific time and place, a director, and just you can't do that again.
And I was telling you earlier on text, I feel like The Omen, even though it doesn't get as much love as The Exorcist, to me, like is just as important in horror films. That look at me, Damien, it's all for you. I mean, that shit sticks in your head as a kid.
Yeah.
You know, the fence going through the guy and the dogs and the behead, all that stuff was just like 70s horror, which we talked about was so scary.
Mm-hmm.
So now they are getting the girl from Servant, which is good because she's like really a good looking girl and creepy at the same time. And I think she's the one that kept me going with at Servant. So I don't know what role she's playing, but again, who we kidding? I'm going to go see it. But man, just try not to mess it up that bad.
Yeah. I don't think I'll see it.
No. So you had Wicked. So Wicked is going to be the Christmas. There's got to be something else that we missed on 4th of July.
We've got a new M. Night Shyamalan movie coming out called Trap.
Really?
Yeah, and also his daughter is releasing a movie as well. She's a director now.
Yeah, she's directed to some of the episodes of Servant.
Yeah.
And she was good.
Yeah.
Come on, Dorothy. She's really good.
That movie. I thought that movie Civil War looks super interesting.
That one scares me, man.
Yeah, it is. It should scare you. That's what sci-fi is. It's scary.
It was like real. Again, it made me feel like Leave the World Behind.
It could be awful. It could be really bad.
I don't think it's going to be bad, like poorly made. I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to feel really real. And it's going to then make a trilogy of the really real trilogy and have The Day After, Leave the World Behind, and Civil War of the stuff that's scary, but you can open your door and see that.
Yeah, and but I think that's interesting. I feel like it's an original idea based on real life.
Yeah.
And just sort of a vibe in the country now. Like this is, to me, is like, okay, this is going to be a draw. People are going to argue about this movie if it's good. But I think for a movie like this to be good, it always has to be like a foreign director that's doing it, that's critiquing America, you know? And it is. It's
from the outside looking in.
Right.
Yeah, I can see that. Is it dropping right around the real horror movie that's going to be November 2024 election? Is it dropping around there?
It's in April, so I mean it'll be in full swing by then.
Oh wow, okay.
It looks super interesting to me. I think
I'm gonna see it, man. But it's like I said, just seeing the trailer, I was like, oh man, this is really unsettling.
When I saw that trailer, I got the same feeling, and this is funny. This is just the evolution of movies where we are now. I got the same feeling of seeing the Independence Day trailer for the first time.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I just felt like, wow, like that's like an event I want to see.
Mike said it gave him Purge vibes, and he's here for it.
It's high concept. This is what I miss, man. A movie that is just someone came up with it and wrote it on a cocktail napkin, and that was the pitch. You know?
Yeah.
It's like everything that I really want to make an effort. It's hard, but I'm tired of all this IP based entertainment. I don't want to support it.
Well, and I can I can see that. But we talked about this, and movies are not escapism for you. Like you said, it's your reality.
Yeah.
This movie is not going to feel like it's escapism. This movie's going to send a message because it feels very real.
It feels like a critique on how the world is today.
Yeah.
Why not? We should see that.
A lot of people do need to see. Like, it scares me, and like you said, it intrigues you because we see that. What about the people who don't see that and then they see this film? Is this going to be a wake-up call? Like, to see what's kind of going on in the world?
I mean, I don't know. We should not forget movies are entertainment, and we shouldn't give them that much.
I know.
We're not trying. Like, if a movie is trying to be, every movie is going to have a point of view, but like, they should be entertainment. But entertainment can be satire, and it can be critical of how things are going. I don't know what a wake-up call would be. People feel how they feel.
Yeah.
So it's just like, it's going to present a realistic situation that is, it's like you said, it's like Escape from New York. You know what I mean? It's got that vibe.
Yeah. Escape from New York, yeah, and that was great. But you're right. I mean, but think of it this way. I mean, in the matrix that we're living in, a bird, a bug, and a human can look at a tree, and it's different. So maybe there's gonna be no wake up call because the bird and the bug see something completely different anyway.
Exactly.
So there may be no wake up call. They're like, what are you talking about? This is what I see, and there's no way to see any other thing except the tree as they see.
Yeah.
I don't know how that turned into Dr. Seuss.
That's very good. I like it. I'm excited for someone just a movie that's just gonna blatantly throw this out there, like a hand grenade.
Yeah.
That's interesting to me.
It's
gonna make people react. If it's good, if it's really bad and just sort of like hits you over the head with like very specific messaging. But if it's going to be one of those movies that questions like, well, who's really right and wrong here?
Yeah.
Something like that,
Mike, I hope we're in the universe where Civil War is just a movie in this day.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you, it is going to be it already accomplished that with me. Just seeing the trailer, I was very like, suck the breath out of your lungs kind of thing. Like, whoa, like this is a thing. What would you say, and I guess this could be our go-home spot, is the number one movie that you're looking forward to?
Next year?
Yeah,
I already said it.
Oh, you did?
Terrifier 3.
Terrifier 3. That's going to be great. I just really have trouble picking. Like, my Halloween movie is going to be Terrifier 3 as well. I don't know what the Christmas movie is. I don't know if it's going to be Wicked. It's been on Broadway for 20 years. I've never seen it. I mean, but it always seems like musicals and Christmas kind of go hand in hand. Wonka was pretty much a musical. I would say my superhero.
You only have one choice.
Yeah, it's going to be. Well, I guess you don't count the Deadpool. I mean the Sony ones, but yeah, it's got to be. I would say if I had to choose between Deadpool and Joker, I'm looking more forward to Deadpool.
You have heat with Sony. You don't like anything they do, so I wouldn't expect you to.
It just
You're not looking forward to any of those.
My issue with them is they're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, I'm super psyched to see Night Swim this weekend. 100%. I'm super psyched. And if we got anything out of this show today, I hope I convinced you that this might be a movie worth going to see, that the pool may be a heel.
Funky like a monkey, ooh yeah. Get down.